If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Well, Buffalo Fanatics, welcome in. I cannot believe you decided to join us after that game, but God bless you, you're here, and we appreciate having you in for a therapy session following a Buffalo Bills loss that is up there with the worst under Josh Allen and Sean McDermott since they've taken over the franchise. The Buffalo Bills, an 8-point favorite against the Miami Dolphins, a team that they have beaten 7 consecutive times, a team that they have beaten 14 of the last 16 outings. A team that fired their GM a week ago because of how bad they have been this season. A 2-win football team goes into this one after trading away one of their best defensive players, missing 2 other defensive starters in Rasul Douglas and Chop Robinson. Once again, firing their GM a week ago after losing 28-6 at home against the Baltimore Ravens. The Buffalo Bills not only lose to that team, they get flat out embarrassed. They get flat out rolled, dominated, and lose by a margin in which they hadn't even trailed by this season. The Bills hadn't even trailed by 16. They lose to the Dolphins by 17. Just when you thought all the confidence in the world was reinstilled in you as a Bills fan coming out of that bye after beating the Carolina Panthers and scoring 40 points, after really handling Kansas City and having your best performance of the season on both sides of the ball, you do this. You go into Miami and lay this type of egg. Absolutely incredible in the worst possible way, what we saw from the Buffalo Bills in Week 10. Rico, Bills 30, or excuse me, I wish, not today. Bills 13, Miami 30. I mean, where do we even begin here, brother?
Where do we begin? We begin by acknowledging the elephant in the room. This was embarrassing. Let's get that out of the way. This was embarrassing to watch. Offensively, this was embarrassing. Defensively, this was embarrassing. And special teams, for crying out loud, putting out your backup running back to go kick an onside kick that potentially could give you something or not. But it was just a bad game altogether. But the real thing is, how do you digest that? How do you digest that after coming off the bye and having such a dominating win over the Carolina Panthers, then taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, one of the better teams in the AFC, so we thought, and we put belt to A on them, and then you come out against your division foe in the Miami Dolphins that don't have a Tyreek Hill, that only have essentially 2 players for you to stop, Devin Achane and Jaylen Waddle. Oh, the Jaylen Waddle that you went to trade for. Oh, yeah, he put 84 yards on you and a touchdown. This was absolutely bad. Bad from the players, bad from coaching, and bad from the GM. And this was a terrible look for these Bills. Now, how do you go as a head coach and answer questions like this? Like, I would love to know if if Sean McDermott was responsible for play calling in this. If he was, did he relinquish his play calling back to Bobby Babbage? Because that performance today defensively was not what I saw the last 2 weeks. Just pathetic display of football today. I'm embarrassed by these Bills. And don't even bring up playoff competition. Don't even bring up Super Bowl contender. I don't even hear it. I don't want it. That AFC East is probably gone. That's it. So now you're going to be a wild card team. Welcome to, might as well put yourself in the Kansas City Chiefs conversation. You're a wild card team. So what you do going forward, and the schedule doesn't get any easier. What you do going forward is going to be telling. Is absolutely going to be telling. So, boy, y'all better pick up your bootstraps, because that was a pathetic display of football, and there was a lack of energy. And lack of energy coming from the one guy I need more energy from, and that is my quarterback, Josh Allen. I did not get the energy and passion from him. Was he drained? Call it what you want. It was bad football today. Bad football today. Not good.
A pathetic performance. The word pathetic really is an understatement here. It was beyond embarrassing. This was the first time that the Bills had lost by 7 or more points to a divisional opponent since Josh Allen's rookie year in 2018. So I know I'm often made fun of by my wife and those in here for saying, no, this is historic and this is all time. No, this is truly a historic type loss in the sense when you go in against a team that you've beaten 14 to 16 times and you've beaten 7 straight times. Not only did you lose, once again, I mean, you got flat out rolled. And it wasn't like it got away from them late. It got away from them early and often. They didn't have a point at halftime. It was 16-0 at halftime. This defense was without their top corner, former Buffalo Bill Rasul Douglas. They traded away maybe their best defensive player in Jaelan Phillips last week. Chop Robinson is out in this game. You already mentioned it. Tyreek Hill on the offensive end of things has been out for some time now. This is how you are essentially playing a beaten down squad, a B squad that just fired their GM, and a team that you have rolled at full strength. And the lack of really anything, there seemed to be no energy in this game, like you mentioned, no identity. It felt like they were just trying to skate through it, and they did not have their laces, their skates laced up. I mean, really, it was all over the place. And you mentioned it. This was about as bad of a day as you could possibly have if you're the Buffalo Bills. The New England Patriots not only beat Tampa Bay, but folks, the New England Patriots are one of the best teams in the NFL right now. I mean, there's a difference between them, kind of having an above average season and doing well. They're 8-2, and they were up by double digits against the Bucs late in the fourth quarter before allowing them to score with about 30 seconds left. They're 8-2. And going the rest of the way, they have one remaining game against a winning opponent, and you guessed it, it's the Buffalo Bills. That's how easy of a road they have ahead. We're not talking about them just making the playoffs or winning the division. We're talking about them in the driver's seat, really, for the 1 seed. Now, in terms of the division, the Buffalo Bills went into this afternoon with a 41% chance to win the AFC East, according to the New York Times. They now have a 17% chance to win the AFC. It fell off a cliff this afternoon in one outing after you had, and this is what's killing me, after you really had just hit the power up button, right? Coming off the bye, where you were really feeling defeated as a Bills fan based on what you saw before the bye, to really hit that power up, Rico, and roll Carolina, who we found to be better than maybe the bottom feeders of this league. What they've been able to do this year, bounce back in a noticeable way. And then, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs. Not only did you beat them, but you handled Kansas City in a pretty impressive way. Both sides of the ball were on fire in that football game. Josh Allen had his best game of his career. The defensive line was all over the place in the best way possible, dominated Patrick Mahomes, 15 quarterback hits. James Cook was off the charts. The O-line, everything was off the charts. To follow that up with this, and I was telling you before we came on here, and I don't know how you guys are feeling in the comments or in the chat, but you asked, right, how do you go and answer questions after this, Rico, if you're McDermott or whoever? I'm thinking about it just from my perspective. I'm personally embarrassed because I'm looking at this team before the bye and I see all the issues and we're talking about them, right? They're noticeable. We're talking about them. And then you go into the bye and then you come out of the bye and you really have no reason but to buy back into these guys. What reason were you given to not buy back in? You go nuclear against Carolina and you fix just about everything that seemed to be off pre-bye except for maybe the pass game. But then you go into Kansas City and you have the best pass game of the entire year. Josh Allen sets a franchise record for completion percentage. They put up 28 points. He puts up nearly 300 total yards, 3 touchdowns. So now you're back to square one again, where you were defeated, you hit the power up, and then all of a sudden you slam back into the guardrail again. So I don't know what to make of these guys. I'll say this, though. Dalton Kincaid leaves this game. Based on what I saw from Thigh Doc, this is looking like a multi-week injury. They do not have a pass game really with him. Without him, I don't even know what to make of it. I don't know what this team is going to be able to do. You are going up against a makeshift defense today without 3 of their starters from just a week or so ago. They could not do anything. They what were they, 3 of 10 on third down in this football game? Could not run it. I think Miami has the 30th ranked run defense in the NFL. Could not run it. And then the pass game. I mean, I was starting to see some improvement here against Kansas City, and that improvement completely dissipated in this game. The inability to throw, you hit one for Keon Coleman, but when it was far too late down the field, that's great. You hit Jackson Hodge when it's far too late, that's great. But when it counted, there was just absolutely nothing there. Kincaid seems to be the only one that gives you consistent reps down the field, Rico. Now he's hurt. I mean, not only is this team trending in the wrong, like we haven't seen a loss like this really since Josh Allen's rookie year. Not only do you have that, but now Kincaid potentially out for some time too. just yesterday, Rico, you couldn't have been more confident. And now look at it. 24 hours removed, and you really could not be feeling worse.
Well, let's look at the things that transpired today that were crucial, right? If you go back to how and why we lost this game, let's look at the word turnovers. We turned the ball over 3 times, but it's not having the turnover. Turnovers is one thing. Tua threw 2 picks, one to Max Harrison, good for him, and one to Cole Bishop. All right.
To start the game too, Rico, you were gifted a pick right off the bat.
Oh, it was an arm punt. I can't stand that terminology. Knock it off that arm punt. The point is, we got the 2 turnovers, but that's not the point. Here's the bigger picture. The turnovers that you committed were killer turnovers, right? Turnovers that if you capitalize, this changes the whole game, because if you're even and you force Tua Tagovailoa to now have to be a top tier quarterback, he's going to give you the football. He's going to make mistakes. We never forced him into that situation. Hear me out. You have the Buffalo Bills trying to make plays, trying to get the ball downfield. 9-minute drive. We get into the red zone. Josh throws an interception. 14 plays, ladies and gentlemen. 14 plays, 77 yards, throws an interception on the 2-yard or right in the end zone.
The killer to that, Rico, by the way, just to add to that drive took 9 minutes. So you throw a pick and you basically eliminated the whole third quarter down by 16.
9 minutes. You're kidding me, right? What's the next one? Our beloved running back. Moving the ball, moving it, doing what we need to do. What happens? James Cook punched the football out. We were moving that football, ladies and gentlemen. And unfortunately, that's what happens. Fumble recovery. James Cook, 21. He was took it at 9 yards, ready to do what he's normally doing. We're ready to get back on the board and really make this a game. Fumble. There's 2. And then the third and final, obviously you saw it for yourself. Josh Allen pushing the pocket. He's got the whole crew. Something that he would just go down. But he was trying to do so much and trying to will his team. Third one, that we were pushing and moving the football, ladies and gentlemen. We had 5 plays, 40 yards. We're moving. There goes Josh. Fumble. These are the reasons we lose football games. We turn the ball over uncharacteristically, and here we are. We find ourselves losing to the Miami Dolphins of all teams. And I get it. This is an NFL team. This is a team that's been whooped. And I blame you, by the way, for pointing it out that we beat them 7 games in a row. You're making all these reels. I blame your behind.
I thought the same thing. Why didn't I make that? They've played them 16 times, Rico. Why didn't I make that literally any other time? Of course, I made it this time.
You did it this time, and that's how you got it, right?
Perfect timing.
Now we're sitting here, 3 turnovers, 3 crucial turnovers, and it's deflating. And that's turning the ball over is one thing. What it does to the team after is another. And those 3 turnovers were deflating on each point. That 9-minute drive, 14 plays, that completely deflated these Bills, and that was it. That was it. That's number 1, turnovers. Number 2, I know we've said this before, and I'll say it again. And I know that people want to get on the receivers, and the receivers is a whole different discussion. But sometimes you don't know what you have in the receivers unless you have a quarterback. And if it's not the quarterback, sometimes you don't know what you have in the receivers unless you don't have an OC. And right now, I'm absolutely out on Brady. Like, this is pathetic. This was pathetic. He's predictable. We know what's coming. They know what's coming. This was happening against the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons knew exactly what was coming down on 3rd down. The safety called it. I knew exactly. They did the exact same play, same scenario. I picked it off because I knew what they were doing. Buddy is predictable. And all that predictability is what's going to happen is people know what you're doing. They key off of you, and they make you give the ball up. That's huge. That is huge. So those are the 2 things that stood out to me. And there's a lot more, but right now, because the raw emotions are there, that's what stands out to me. And golly, Josh, tell me, have you ever seen this? By the way, I'm gonna ask you something. Have you ever seen a quarterback? Name me the last quarterback that you remember, or you see this happen, where a quarterback on the sideline, the camera pans over, and you see the quarterback pulling his guys in and saying, "Hey, we got to get it together. And you got to do this, and you got to do that." Do you remember the last quarterback? It doesn't matter, like, you don't have to say like when, but the last quarterback you saw try to rally his crew and try to do that. Do you remember?
Tom Brady?
Probably, right? Have you ever seen Josh Allen yank his guys and say, "Come on, guys, let's get going"? He goes right to the sideline and onto his tablet and sits by himself. How do you rally your squad? You're the leader. Rally your squad, man. Rally your squad. I don't see that. So guess what? I'm gonna chill. He's sitting on the bench. All right, cool. We're gonna sit on the bench. And I'm not putting it on Josh, but like, you're the leader of this team. You're the franchise of this team. Rally these boys up and say, guys, we got this. And it might pump yourself up. Man, these turnovers, bad coaching, and poor execution, that's the result. The result's right in your face. The Miami Dolphins beat down the Bills. Are you kidding me? The Miami Dolphins beat down the Bills? That sentence coming to my mouth should never happen. But here we are.
The thing is, it's one thing to lose. I mean, a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. It's one thing to lose one of these games. You've beaten them 14 to 16 times, and you mentioned it. They're an NFL team, too. These guys get paid, too. It's one thing to lose, stumble into a trap, and lose a game you shouldn't in a gross way. They got destroyed. I mean, they got manhandled. The offensive line looked about as bad as it's looked all year. The D-line got no pressure on Tua whatsoever. Only a few times were they able to get home on Tua. And I always say, who's the one guy, Rico, I always bring up when it comes to Miami that I worry that's going to kill us? Achane. And look what he did today. Yeah. Holy cow, Devon Achane, have yourself a ball game. He went nuts. 174 yards on 22 carries with 2 touchdowns. And then he was also very active in the passing game too. 5 receptions for 47 yards. So, you have Devon Achane in this football game. I mean, really go absolutely nuclear on you. And this game reminded me an awful lot, Rico, of the Atlanta Falcons game, where early in the game, you're right down to playing a left-handed quarterback. By the way, it was almost identical. It was a mirror image of it. In the first half of the game, you have the team's best receiver and best running back doing whatever they want against you with a left-handed quarterback, while the offense on the other side of things cannot do anything at all. The difference in this football game, though, was that they never turned it around in the second half. Both sides of the ball. They just got rolled the entire football game. It's one thing to lose, and it's another thing to lose like this. I cannot wrap my mind around them losing this football game the way that they did. They do not lose games like this the way that they lost. And it makes you wonder, Rico, if this season is different, because they have had bad losses in the past. But we've seen before when this team goes on a skid of a couple of games, the way that they bounce back and they continue to ride that momentum, right? We saw it a season ago where they did lose 2 consecutive games, and they would go on to not only roll to the AFC Championship, but they would only lose 1 remaining regular season game in legitimate fashion, and that was to the Rams, where they put up over 40 points. They lost the final game of the year when they sat their starters. So this is unprecedented, because not only do you lose, but you also lose the way that you did to the opponent that you did, and you can't help but wonder what to make of this. And now you really sit here and you're trying to ponder on what exactly the Buffalo Bills are, because now we're now we're beyond the halfway point of the season here. We had 2 good games, Rico, off the bye.
Yep.
But now when you factor this game in, it's still far more like mediocre to bad than it is good. And now you're piling on the injuries like crazy. I mean, even you got Landon Jackson going down in this game, Dalton Kincaid going down. You're already down to having Max Harrison starting this football game because Benford was out, and then Trey White has to go out. So you're not only not playing well, but you're also losing guys that are going to be the best opportunity for you to play well. So it's just getting what seems to be worse and worse. This was also, ladies and gentlemen, the easiest remaining game on the Bills schedule outside of the New York Jets. This was one of the last remaining games where you looked at it and said, I, with a full chest, full confidence, have the Buffalo Bills winning this football game. It's the last one. It's the last remaining one other than the New York Jets. And they not only lost, but they got dismantled. And now you're looking around the league. I mean, I'm looking at Seattle right now. They are up 28-0 on Arizona with 9 minutes left in the second quarter. I know Indianapolis didn't look amazing this morning, but they still won. They're still in the driver's seat, and they added Sauce Gardner at the trade deadline. And I'm just looking around the league, and it's starting to become crystal clear to me that we've seen more of this today than not. And if that's the case, it's really hard to wrap your mind around this team's ability to go on a run the remainder of the season here, Rico. And I focus in on one thing here too. When defenses take away the Bills' ability to run, they have no offense. They simply have no offense. When James Cook can't get it going and the offensive line isn't dominating and they can't run for 100 yards or so, they literally have no offense. And then with Kincaid going down, I mean, it was just chuck it up to Keon Coleman and hopefully we can make a play. Or, Josh Allen having to become Houdini and run around the back of the line of scrimmage for 10 full seconds to find somebody to get open. There's nothing. And you saw not only was it so uninspiring, Rico, but you saw it took everything in them to just be able to muster the points that they did. I mean, how gassed was this offense? They were letting the play clock run all the way down despite being down 2 scores. They were completely gassed. So not only were they not able to score and really not able to move the ball with any consistency, but Rico, it took everything out of them to just do what they ended up doing, which wasn't much. I mean, I don't know what to make of this. Within 1 week, you literally look as good as any team in the NFL, and now you look as bad as any team all year, really. I mean, that was as bad of a performance as you could have against that team. When you look at the perspective of what they just did against that team, it does not get worse.
2 things. Josh Allen played a terrible game. Although he did everything he could, it wasn't his best. But Josh didn't have a terrible game because Josh is a terrible player. This Josh Allen, Joe Brady fit has run its course. Josh is trying to, you have a guy that has an arm to uncork and let it fly, but then you have an offensive coordinator saying, play within my system, shallow, take the stuff, let these other guys. Here's the best way I can play it. You've got Joe Brady trying to make Josh Allen a game manager. Josh Allen is not a game manager. This guy's a game wrecker. That's what he does. He makes plays. Open it up for this guy. You haven't opened it up. It's not a good fit. And you're seeing the frustration on Josh mixed in with lack of effort from Keon Coleman. I still think Keon Coleman's a damn good receiver. Can be. But his effort today was piss poor. Piss poor effort. And that's got to piss Josh off. So, Josh, you got to be able to go over and say, yo, dude, I need you. You don't see that. Now, do we see these off the field conversations? No. But you see the same damn results. So there's no way you can tell me that there's something happening, there's conversation happening. Because if I got chewed out, if you and I are partners in business, and I don't know, I keep messing up and doing the same error, and you have a chat with me in the same, or management comes and says, hey, man, you got to talk to your employee or whatever the case is, and the management doesn't see change, did you do your job? So I'm looking at quarterback, I'm looking at the coaching staff, I'm looking at everything and saying, we see the product on the field, and yet you guys practice every week, but we see the same BS every time. So what changes are being made? None. No changes. That fit between Josh and Joe Brady, that's got to go. But guess what? We're stuck with him for the rest of the year. It's not like we have somebody just ready to sit there and call plays. Ronald Curry, I believe it's Ronald Curry, the quarterback's coach, I don't think he has any experience calling plays. You're not going to get Aaron Cromer to call plays. You got to stick with this guy. Pathetic display of football today. I'm embarrassed, bro. Kudos to the Miami Dolphins, though. Give credit to Miami Dolphins. They understood the assignment. They said, we know you guys are a fraudulent team. You guys can't stop the run. You guys can't tackle for ish. I'm coming after you. And by the way, Devin Achane, he's going to do the damn thing. He did it. He did it to you guys against you guys the first time we met up. He's going to do it to you guys again. And then you saw the results. We couldn't tackle. Oh, there's another thing, too. Tackling was absolutely abysmal. Just pathetic. It's embarrassing, man. So how, as a head coach, can you come out here and, we just got to get back to fundamental football and get back to the fundamentals and this, that, and the third. And you got Josh Allen saying, it's on me. I got to be better. Well, fuck them. Be better. Be better. Because, you know what I'm saying? Doing the backyard stuff, I get it. You're trying to do everything you can, but sometimes you got to bring on people with you. And it sucks to watch this offense play. It sucks to watch this defense give it up to these teams. And like you said earlier, you alluded to it earlier, you still got to play the Eagles. You still got to play the Bucks. You still got to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who am I missing? You still got to play the Patriots again.
Yep.
Bro, yo, you keep this up, Buffalo.
Yeah, you got to play the Bengals offense who puts 40 on everyone. I know their defense is terrible. The Texans, by the way, they scored 26 unanswered points in the fourth quarter to beat Jacksonville this afternoon. Like I mentioned earlier, they just exhausted one of their easiest remaining W's. You could not lose today. You simply could not lose that football game. If you wanted any prayer of remaining in the 1 seed hunt, which, by the way, you think the division's out of play. The 1 seed, I mean, I mean, gone. I mean, you can right now we're focusing on maybe bumping in for a wild card spot, right? Yeah. But you couldn't lose this football game today. You simply could not lose it because for so many reasons. They just completely erased, Rico, all the goodwill they just spent 2 weeks building off the bye. So including the bye, you just eliminated 3 full weeks of progress from what you had shown before the bye. In one afternoon, you have completely erased and eliminated all of that progress. You had everybody buying back in. You had us buying back in. You had the national media buying back in. And I think you had them for what seemed to be buying back into what they were capable of doing. Then you have Brandon Beane going into the trade deadline, isn't able to make a move. And you're thinking to yourself, you really would have loved to have seen him make a move. Of course, you find out afterwards that they were in on Waddle and in on Quinnen Williams, and it didn't get worked out. But then you're thinking, you really wanted them to do something, but hey, we just beat they just beat the Chiefs. They destroyed Carolina. Things are starting to come together off the bye here. They're 6-2. Maybe they'll figure it out. They figured it out in years past. And then this is what you answer with. This is what you show up with this afternoon. I mean, I just can't get over the way that they lost this football game. They were the inferior team to a 2-7 football team the entire game. It wasn't like they just pissed this football game away. Like Miami was just better. Miami was just a better football team. You said it. Give credit to Miami today. Their defense was all over Josh Allen. They got pressure on him. They were all over him. They shut down James Cook in the run game completely. And then you got to give Tua credit. He made a couple of big throws. I know he threw his usual 2 picks, but he made a couple of big throws. And really, that's all they needed in this football game to put it away. I mean, 16 points. They didn't need to score the whole second half, Rico, and they still would have won the football game. And then Devon Achane absolutely destroyed these guys. Now you're sitting here, and what are the Buffalo Bills? Who are the Buffalo Bills heading in to Week 11? Rico, I think the answer, and it sucks to say, and I know it's going to be a tough reality to come to, but the answer has to be that they're more similar to what they were pre-bye than what we saw the last 2 weeks, because my sample size of what we saw today is far broader than what we saw the previous 2 weeks. Is that not true? No, you're bang on, and I'm as maybe call me overreacting fan or whatnot, but the type of football they played today is the type of football that's going to have them out of the playoffs. I'm not even trying to be cute by saying that. This football that they're playing right now in the month of November, where you're supposed to start to ramp up and be the team you're supposed to be, so you can get into December and solidify who you are, and then into January, let's get going, bro. Keep this bull jive up. It might be us sitting outside and letting KC get it back into it, because we're playing some tough teams going forward. And if Josh Allen's is his refusal to fix what's going on, or Joe Brady's refusal to find something that's going deep, and Brandon Beane's inept ability to find pieces that work for this guy, bro, scrap this whole season. That's what it's looking like to me. And I don't feel like I'm overreacting. It's frustrating, bro. And what's frustrating more so to me is these players that are on this team right now could be used anywhere, and OCs will find ways to use these players. There's no way Khalil Shakir's got 7 receptions for 50-odd yards. He's got 14 receptions in 2 games, less than 100 yards, I believe. Because that's all it is. That's all it is. The only routes ran to him are screens to the outside or short dump offs. Think about it. 14 receptions, you got less than 100 yards? Pathetic. They do not have a downfield passing game. They finally, Keon Coleman connects on one. What is that? The first reception on what's been maybe 15 tries to get that play to work. Great. They got it to work in garbage time when they were already down by 2 scores. Awesome. Okay. And then Kincaid being hurt, like this is the cherry on top of a sundae made of absolute manure. Okay. The cherry on top is you lose the only guy that you seem to have faith in being able to give you a downfield threat. I mean, once again, Dalton Kincaid had 2 receptions of 15 plus yards in this game before he got hurt. And with him gone, I mean, I just don't see this team as it stands right now does not have a pass game. Last week against the Chiefs was the only semblance of a consistent pass game where you saw both the intermediate, the short, and the long-range throwing work consistently. It's because Josh Allen had the best game of his season thus far, and everything was working. The run game was working. The offensive line protection was great. The defense was also giving them an extra time of possession, right? They had a 10-minute time of possession advantage in that football game. Everything was working. But when things aren't all going their way, it just feels like they do not have an offense that's able to overcome being down or trailing. The only time they've done it is against Baltimore in an unbelievable once-in-a-lifetime type fashion. I mean, you go down here, they start the game, they pick off Tua. I mean, how different this game could have been. You start the game picking off Tua like you always do, and you have the ability to just jump on these guys, right? To feed them right off the start. They go 3 and out, Rico. They went into the game with 12 3 and outs on the whole year. They started the game with 3 consecutive 3 and outs. How is that possible? You're going up against a makeshift defense whose GM. I just can't get over this. They fired their GM last week because of how bad this team has been this season. And you lose like this. I mean, they just got their ass handed to them by Baltimore a week ago. And it was the opposite this week where they handed the ass to Buffalo. And I just don't understand how that is possibly what you put on display after what you showed us a week ago. How is it even possible? And then on top of everything, it just felt so lackluster from the inspiration and energy side of things. I mean, late in the game, there was no urgency. The one thing that stood out to me that I thought was just incredible, they had nearly a full play clock. It was like 5 seconds short of the game clock at the end of the third quarter, Rico, and they just let the third quarter expire. They just let the third quarter come to an end. And you're down in the football game by 2 scores, and you need every second to try and claw back into this one. And I know it doesn't matter much in the grand scheme of things. They weren't going to win the football game likely anyways. But that just showed me not only are you getting rolled today against a team that you have owned, but it doesn't really feel like it all matters that much based on what I'm watching on the field. It doesn't really feel like anybody's inspired to try and go and do something about it. And then at the end, to allow Achane to just rip off 2 massive runs for touchdowns, it just felt like this team threw the white flag in this afternoon, Rico. And that is sad. We had said, will the Bills have their backups in the fourth quarter? They did, but for the opposite reason as to what you thought they were going to have them in there for in this football game. Beyond embarrassing. I still can't believe it.
I'll tell you this. I know that we're embarrassed. I know that, and I can't believe I'm about to say this too, because I have two just like opposite takes, right? I went to the point where if this nonsense continues, we're not going to find ourselves making the playoffs. We're going to be outside looking at if this continues. Defensively, can't get a stop, letting big plays happen, because that's been our problem, allowing big plays to happen. Devin Achane ripping off two huge runs. Not the point I'm trying to make here. I know it's one player, but I truly do believe that when Palmer returns, the one guy that we did bring to this team that can get and generate separation could spark something. I'm not saying that it's going to be the turning point, but could spark something in this offense that allows Josh to kind of, get more life out of this offense. And I know people don't like to be like, oh, stop it, man. This guy he doesn't get separation. He doesn't this, he doesn't that. That's why I said it's a far-fetched me saying this, but it's possible that if we get a full range of our receivers back onto the field, just maybe this offense could look somewhat ready to go. Because if you go back to the Ravens game, you did see them go beyond the sticks because guys were getting separation. That's one way to look at it. But with Josh specifically, if the guy doesn't have 1 or 2 yards separation, he ain't throwing. And there are a lot of tight throws that Josh should be, or at least attempting to make to these guys, and just doesn't have it. And it's tough, man. Watching this team, it frustrates the heck out of me. But at the end of the day, we are what we are. Our record says what we are. Our play says what we are. And if you think you can play that type of football going against the Eagles, Patriots, Steelers, Texans, you're done. You're done. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Or we're just going to have to do this 13 personnel all day, every day.
The offensive line,
in the league, by the way, we're number 1 in the league in success running out of 13 personnel. Go figure.
The offensive line we talked about this off camera earlier in the week. I said if there's one thing that consistently shows up every week on the film, it's that this offensive line is just dominant in pass protection. And I guess I was fooled by just what I watched today. And I think it was because there was just such a lack of success in the pass game today, or such a lack of success putting points on the board and moving the football, that I was kind of deceived. Because my dad just sent me a stat, and I would not have guessed this. Next Gen Stats had Josh Allen averaging a 3.53 second time to throw average this afternoon, Rico. So Josh Allen's average time to throw was 3.53 seconds, the longest time he's had to throw since 2018. So do you know how bad the pass game that was today? Did it feel like that to you? It did not feel that way to me. But I guess this is what this says to me, that the execution of the pass game was so poor that I was thinking, that they were getting home. And towards the end, it felt like they were. But it's because Allen, I think, is holding the ball for a long time, trying to get something to happen today. And it just didn't happen, especially with Kincaid out. That stat's shocking. So to where I thought, Allen did take 3 sacks today. And I did think it seemed as though the offensive line didn't have their best day. And maybe it was because they couldn't run the football. But they were incredible against the pass. And then I also have another stat here on the defensive side of things. You talked about the missed tackles. Devon Achane forced 11 missed tackles in this game, Rico. The most missed tackles ever forced. And then one more just stat to throw on top of this just abysmal afternoon. Drake May is now the betting favorite to win the MVP in 2025 after what they did against the Bucs. So I'm looking at that stat though, Rico, the pass protection stat. Gosh. And this is what's crazy. And this is where we have to dive into this a little bit. You have, based on the numbers, maybe the best offensive line in the NFL in the ability to have a clean pocket. And it shows on the film. So with that, the inability to do anything with it this afternoon, you have the most time to throw since that you've had in 7 years, and just no ability to capitalize on it at all. So typically when a pass game is suffering, Rico, it's because the quarterback's under pressure constantly, or they have no run game. The Bills have an elite run game and an elite pass protection. So
what's the problem?
And just when you thought the problem was being solved a week ago, I mean, seriously, they looked great last week against a team that you look to be the class of the NFL, of course. To you, though, did it feel as though he had that much time today? Like, nothing felt easy on the offense. So I guess that's why I was deceived.
Nothing felt easy. And unless you see and this is why I never bag on the receivers, because you don't see the film. Because for all we know, right? And I know you were talking about the O-line and we're looking at the running backs but for all we know, Josh is probably the one that's just not seeing things the way he's supposed to, and the receivers are doing their job. Or it really is what we know. And it's the receivers are that poor, and Josh is doing whatever the heck he can with the minimal help that he's got on the offensive side of the football. Either way, something has to give somewhere. Problem is, it's too late. Trade deadline is over with and done with. Would it have helped to have a number one receiver, an X-factor receiver? No.
You don't think
Maybe.
so?
With this offense?
What do you make of them not? It was reported that Miami wanted this upcoming draft's first round pick.
I would have gave that shit up to them. This year, take it.
Why save it till 27? You're going to have a mid-20s pick more than likely. What was that? Why?
Maybe because this year's receiver draft class is a big one. So maybe they're trying to say, give me Waddle and let me build with next year's draft class and really give it to them. But I'm speculating at this. But
is that receiver you were to draft? Would it be as good as Waddle? Likely not.
No, I would have gave that first round up. It was just that they wanted. It's nuts to me. It really is nuts to me. So this is why I'm interested. By the time the All 22 comes out, and I'm sure you're going to be looking at it, it might not be the receivers. It might simply be Josh isn't seeing it correctly, or the receivers are buns. I just don't feel like is Khalil Shakir buns? Is he trash? I don't think so. Is he a number one type receiver? No. I mean, you can't tell me Shavers is not decent enough that you can get something going with Shavers. He may not be a household name, but you can find something for this brother. Come on.
It felt today like the receivers were less open than they have been before. Like I've mentioned on here a bunch. The film usually shows that there's somebody open. Like more often than not, it's not like it's not like everybody's completely taken out of the play and there's nowhere to go with the football. I'm going to have to look at the all 22, like you said, because up until this point, it has felt as though the majority of these pass attempts do have somebody open. And of course, the consistent thing here throughout every football game mostly is Josh Allen has had the protection to allow those routes to develop. For whatever reason today, it didn't feel like there was much open. And then when Kincaid left, like it just felt like there was going to be no ability to move the football down the field. And really, they only did that in garbage. Like it was garbage time where they were just kind of chucking the ball down the field, hoping that they could land something. You chuck one.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel it is time to panic for the Bills?
Panic in what way? For this season? So let's look at it this way.
Yes.
Because this, to me, right now is the most concerning thing. This season is one thing. The other thing is the fact that the New England Patriots in 1 year, not even a full year yet with Mike Vrabel, in the second year as a starter for Drake May, are on pace to get the 1 seed in the AFC. And they have a stranglehold on the AFC East. This might not just be a problem right now. This seems like this could be a elongated issue for the foreseeable future. Not only are you in trouble this year, what are you, 2.5 games back now behind New England with losing this one and them winning against Tampa Bay? Not only are you significantly behind them as it is, what's this looking like moving forward? You already lost to that team at home. That broke a 14-game win streak at home. So that was an unprecedented loss. They haven't lost since, right? I think, what is New England on? A 6-game win streak, something like that? Something crazy? 7-game win streak, right? So not only, so this is when you talk about panic, like what's your level of panic or what are we panicking about? Are we panicking about this year or are we panicking about the foreseeable future here in the AFC East and the Buffalo Bills? Because this is a team in less than 1 year that has seemed to do a complete 180 under Mike Vrabel, to where you not only have an 8-2 football team, but you currently have a second-year quarterback leading the betting market in terms of being the favorite to win the MVP. And it's Rico, we're past the halfway point of the season. It's not like he's the MVP favorite 3 weeks in after having a hot start. We are heading into week 11. So if we're talking about the panic button, this is where I got to tell you guys on this episode coming into it, I just didn't know. I don't even know where to be at right now. I have a Bills team look mediocre to bad before the bye. Then I have them come out and it's James Cook, 200 plus yards against Carolina, 7 sacks on the Carolina Panthers, 40 points. They hold Patrick Mahomes to his worst completion percentage of his career. They get him 15 times on quarterback hits, the most he's ever faced. Josh Allen, franchise record for completion percentage. And now this. So Rico, like, what can we even make of this? I actually really don't. I don't know. Here's the thing though. There's no consistency. That is blatantly obvious. There's no consistency. And I feel like if you don't have a consistent level of play, then I feel like you cannot confidently predict this team to do anything meaningful moving forward here. Because if you go from the highest of highs to falling off of a cliff the way you did within 1 week here, I mean, you just went from the pinnacle of your season to the basement of your season within 7 days.
Absolutely.
So what do you make of that? I mean, we're talking panic. You're like, what do we even make of this football team? Because what happens next week, just hypothetical, what happens next week if they have Tampa Bay come to Buffalo and they beat them 30 to 20? What do you make of this?
Okay, so let me put my positive hat on, my silver lining hat on, right? We can sit here and poop on the team all day, right? I know that it's easy at least for me, I'm almost like I'm about to like take that bell and ring and be like, yo, what's up? I don't like what I see right now. But yet it is only 3 losses. But think about the teams that we lost to, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
We lost to the Atlanta Falcons. We lost to the freaking Miami Dolphins. And who's the other team that we lost to that we had no business into? The New England Patriots.
The Patriots. And Rico, you've played 4 divisional games. You've lost half of them.
Okay. So that's that.
This team rarely loses 1 in the division.
So now you have a team like what? The New York Jets win today? I think the Jets won today.
The entire division won today, but Buffalo. When's the last time that happened? Ever? With Josh Allen?
This is what I'm saying. So here's what I'm trying to get to with this. I'm putting my positive hat on. in this case, you have to now look at this team as, okay, we're not in a good place right now. How do you bounce back? So we're about to test the resiliency of this team. And because you have Sean McDermott as your coach, because you have Josh Allen as your quarterback, you have two big-time individuals that can really propel this team, something's going to have to give. So maybe this is that breaking point for these guys to say, okay, before we get into panic mode, we got to turn this thing around now. Huge matchup again next week against the Tampa Bay Bucks. We have to get our act together because Baker Mayfield and Ibuka, they're pissed off. They just came off a bye, and they just lost to the New England Patriots. They're going to be looking to get back their lick on the AFC East foe. And the Bills have to do the same because you can't go back and have another 2-game losing streak.
By the way, they've never done that in Allen's career.
I was about to say that would be historic because it's not happened under this tenure. So this regime. So that's why I'm holding onto that rope. I haven't shaken it yet, but I'm watching now. I'm watching because you get 2 times in this year, you use two in a row. Oh, you're not the same team. You're not the same team. And I even said it. I said it on my last stream. I'll ask you this question. I'll ask everybody in this chat. Did we overachieve last year? Did the Bills overachieve in terms of Josh getting the MVP and us going on a little bit of a run and we went to the AFC Championship game? Like, did we overachieve? And is this unit that we have right now, is this the team that is who we really are? Because these losses have me wondering, this might be it. This might be the team. This might be Josh. This might be Josh without Diggs. This is it. This might be Josh without Dable. This is it. Did we overachieve, or are we just in a bad run, a little bad spell that we got to get ourselves out of? So it's I hate these losses because it's got you. It's
absolutely after my mind.
I hate losses like this because now I'm poking holes in everything and I'm wondering about this and I'm wondering about that. I can't stand when Bills lose. But like if it was a shootout and we just happened to not make the best play, then at least you can say, all right, man, because the defense didn't make that big stop, or Josh picked off, and when he tried, we got rolled today. We got absolutely rolled. And the losses that we sustained, we got rolled. We got rolled by the Falcons. We got rolled by the Dolphins, and we got rolled by the Patriots. Bro. And the one thing that was supposed, at least if we lost to the Ravens the first week, at least we can say, bro, man, we went toe to toe. We went bang for bang, and we just missed it. Bro, we got rolled 3 times in our losses. Dude, give it up, man. Like, we're too inconsistent. Way too inconsistent. And I hate losses like this because it has us talking like this. But we have to be objective. You have to be objective. And this is what it is.
The Falcons haven't played a good game since they played Buffalo. They haven't played one good game since. And the Dolphins hadn't really played a good game all year. So to your point, it's like, last year, you're looking at that season, right? You lose to Baltimore, a team that you would face in the divisional round of the playoffs. You lose to Houston in a game where Josh Allen had the worst game of his season, and it was on the road. And the Baltimore game was on the road, and Houston wound up going to the divisional round as well, Rico. Then you lose to the LA Rams, where you score over 40 points, and Josh Allen has one of the best games of his career, and you just lose a shootout. The LA Rams were in the divisional round as well. So last year, your 3 legitimate losses, not counting the Week 18 loss where you rested your starters, your 3 losses were against 3 teams that were among the final 8 in the NFL come playoff time. So really, you wound up losing to 3 of the best teams in the NFL, 3 of the top 8 teams in the NFL. This year, you lose to a Patriots team. At this point, hey, we'll give them to them. They're one of the best teams in the league. So that's looking like not the worst loss in the world.
Yep.
But then you lose to the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think Atlanta's going to make the playoffs. And then you lose to the Dolphins. We know they're not going to make the playoffs. So it is different. Not only are the losses different, but you are also factoring in who you lost to. And then you're taking into consideration the Miami angle of this whole thing. This, to me, is why this is such a red flag. It might be one thing to go out there today and lay an egg against an NFC team that you play once every 8 years or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. But you're going up against this team that you have just completely owned and dominated. I mean, you have beaten this team. Josh Allen was on pace to have an ownership of the Dolphins the way that New England and Tom Brady had an ownership of the Bills. I mean, that's what the pace that they were on.
Yeah.
And to lose this game like this after reestablishing yourself the last week here, this is so gut-wrenching, and this is just such an eye-opener because it did feel like they were getting things back together. And you asked, was last year an overachievement? It's hard to think that it is because of the consistency in which they were doing what they did last year, Rico. They scored 30 points like every single week, and they were just doing the same things every week with success, all the way up to the AFC Championship where they scored 29 points, had a chance to win it in the end. This year, what's the answer for it? I think it's not that they overachieved. I think that they've just declined this year. Really. Yep. I don't think they overachieved last year because, Rico, on Sunday last week, you saw that Buffalo Bills team that we're talking about last year still exists. You saw it on Sunday last week. You saw it against Carolina. But this Buffalo Bills team that we saw this afternoon really did not exist last year after that Houston loss. You didn't see it again. This is what's the most concerning about this. Not only is this the third loss, you had 3 legitimate losses all year last year. Now you have 3 losses going into week 11. But the difference is that last year the losses were to 3 top teams. This year, 2 of your 3 losses are to 2 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. And last year you really didn't lose again outside of the insane game of the year-esque outing against LA. This year you revert back to the domination that you were on the wrong side of before the bye. So a lot of things do feel different, Rico, in the worst way.
So what do we do? What do we do in this? What do the Bills do at this point? What are your thoughts? Talk to me. If you're trying to turn this team around going forward, where's the fix? And this goes to the chat, not just you, Bot, but this goes to the chat. Where is the fix? Because you can't remove someone and say you're done. So what is it? Or was this just a bad day of execution? But we've had those in 3 games, 4. So what do you do? What's the fix? And I think that is where McDermott is trying to figure his life out. Is where's the fix? How do we fix this thing? What takes place in this regard? And it's going to be one of those situations where it's tough to find the end result in this.
I don't know if a fix is obtainable right now with the injuries on top of it too. I mean, with Kincaid out likely for a while here on offense again,
yeah,
they just don't have anything. They have the only thing that they have with any relative consistency in the pass game is Shakir for 7 catches and 50 yards. That you can count on. Anything beyond that, they have absolutely nothing to hang your hat on in the pass game whatsoever. And like I mentioned earlier, if the opponent is able to stifle the run game to an average outing for James Cook, this team they have no semblance of an offense. If they are not able to run the football at an elite level for, at any given week, then this offense reverts into a mediocre to below mediocre offense. You saw it this afternoon. They could not establish the run. I mean, how many series wound up becoming second in 9 or second in 8, right, Rico? Because they'd run the ball on first down almost every series. They couldn't gain anything on it. And then it would result in these 2nd and 3rd and longs. This is why they were so bad on 3rd down this afternoon. So you're looking at a solution, and I think that you're losing Kincaid. You've also lost 2 top playmakers on the defensive front. You also are continuing to lose defensive player after defensive player each and every week. I don't know if there's a solution right now. If anything, it seems to be becoming more and more depleted as the weeks go on when you factor in the injuries.
Well, I'll tell you this. Usually there's a guy that usually gives me a good idea of what it takes to be objective on certain things. And that's my guy, Kevin. Kevin, are you there, buddy?
Oh, man.
Hey, what's up?
Kevin, are you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Perfect. Hey, buddy. Listen, for those that are tuned in, can you hear Kevin all right, Bot? You good?
Let me try. Let me hear him.
Kevin, say what's up to the people real quick.
What's up?
We got him loud and clear. Kevin, congrats on a hell of an outing, brother.
What are you guys up to?
He says, what are you guys up to? Here's what we're up to, Kev. We're having a call. First of all, how are you feeling, by the way, after this win against the Buffalo Bills?
Was there a football game today? I didn't watch. Oh, yeah. Well, it's peak Miami Dolphins football that we finally win when the game's meaningless. Like it's Miami encapsulated, you know?
How sad is it that nobody can be happy about this game? Nobody.
Bot says how sad could it be that nobody can be happy? Dolphins fans are not happy. Bills fans are happy. What's going on here?
Well, it wasn't too bad for us because the Jets won. So they beat and the Saints won as well. So at least in the rush to the bottom, all the bottom dwellers seem to have won today.
I guess I can see that be an issue. So Bot and I are trying to figure out. We have a poll question: should Bills fans be panicking on the way these Bills have just been inconsistent and losing? And some folks are saying, guys, we've only lost 3 games. Settle down. But some people are looking at this like, no, this is a trend. We've seen this before. We've seen this happen. You watched the game. You saw it. What's the issue with these Bills? What did you see?
It's a trend. It's a yearly trend. Every year you guys do this. Every year you guys lose to some bums. When you lost to Denver there on the Monday night game against Russ Wilson. When you lost, you lost to the Patriots. You always lose to bums every year. You beat the good teams, you beat the bums, and it never matters. You end up 13-3 or 13-4 now because there's 17 games or whatever. It's not going to matter. You think when 2 months from now it's going to matter you lost this game?
So So what you're telling me is that you're not buying all this. The Bills will be fine. They just had a bad loss in a bad moment to the Miami Dolphins.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have been crying about injuries all broadcast.
No, not really.
No? Because you should be about the Kincaid one. That one really stinks. That's the roughest one. Because he's your playmaker, right? Well, I mean, other than Allen, but like in the passing game, that's a tough one. That's a tough one for you guys. It was a hammy, I think.
Yeah, hammy. So, and hammies, you don't get over a hammy in a week. And Bob mentioned earlier that Thaddock was like, dude, that's a multiple week injury. So there goes that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Are the Bills receivers that bad that they're not getting open? I'm holding out. I don't want to say holding out hope, but I just don't think that the receivers are as bad as people are making them seem. I think this is more of a Josh Allen and Joe Brady issue. But maybe I'm just holding on to something that's not true, and the receivers aren't doing their job. But then I'm like, Kincaid, obviously Kincaid being out, but okay, Khalil Shakir, not a bad receiver, right? I'm sure the Dolphins would love to have a Khalil Shakir on their squad, right? Keon Coleman, I really don't think he's as bad as people making him be, but maybe he is, right? Then you got Curtis Samuel, and then you have, obviously, Palmer that's been out several weeks now. He hasn't returned. He should be back next week. But what are your thoughts on this receiving crew? Are they as bad as people think they are?
Yeah. I like Shakir. I think he's really good. I think that's a definite building block. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's really good. But, man, what are they? Turned him into the 2019 Jaylen Waddle when all they do is throw him screen passes and 2-yard passes. Like, get this man. Why isn't he running? Well, I know why. Because a lot of the routes that he likes, the intermediate routes, are also the routes that Kincaid excels at. So all those like deep ins and deep crossers and stuff like that, you've been funneling them through Kincaid. But if he's out a couple weeks, you got to funnel them through Shakir now. You got to stop just handing him screenplays and 2-yard passes and hoping they're like extension of the run game. I mean, it works, but you need more now. It's with Kincaid out. Samuel, I've told you, was nothing from the second you signed him. I don't know why you guys continue to keep like, no, this is his year. He's never been more than a third receiver in his entire career. He's a nice gimmick player. Yep. Palmer injury hurts. I think he's a legitimate receiver, and I think when he comes back, that's going to help. I know the fans, I probably are a little bit lower on him, but I've watched him for years. He's a good player. He's definitely going to help.
I agree.
Coleman's nothing. Kelvin Benjamin 2.0.
Okay.
Come on. He had a nice touchdown against the 7th-string corner that got benched. Like, we were so mad that Kelvin Benjamin beat us for that touchdown today that we sat down the white corner and he never got back into the game. You can't separate. Everything's contested. Like, even the commentators are hammering him today.
Yep.
Like, he's got to get better at route running. You can't just lumber off the line and hope for everything to be a 50-50 ball because, like...
This is the NFL. You got to run routes.
Like, he's not bad. Let me rephrase. If he was your third receiver, or if he was in the Gabe Davis type role to Stephon Diggs, then it's not bad. You've got your contested catch guy. You know what I mean? Like, everyone should have the quick slot guy, your Cole Beasley, your contested catch guy, you know, which you like, obviously Shakir's the Beasley now, your contested catch guy, and then you need a guy that can just separate and get open, can get you buckets at the end of the game.
Yeah, and we don't got that.
Well, you do, but he's a tight end. But
And he's hurt.
Matter, though. It doesn't matter. Like, you're still going to win 13 games. Like, I still think you're getting to the Super Bowl because I think the AFC is super weak.
Me and Z-Bot just looked at each other the same way when you said Super Bowl. Because I was like, yo, stop talking about Super Bowl. Just get into the playoffs right now.
Who in the AFC actually is fearful? The Chiefs, just because they're the Chiefs come the playoffs, right? You guys always whooping in the regular season, and then they tend to win in the playoffs. I get that. So I can get why you guys would be antsy about that.
The Colts?
But other than that, Pittsburgh, the Colts, come on. In your heart of hearts, I'm looking, I can't see you guys, but pretend I'm looking at Z-Bot right in the eye. And in heart of hearts, there is no chance you guys are afraid Danny Dimes is gonna win that game. No chance.
My counterpoint would be I had no
Go ahead.
I had no fear of Tua putting up 30 on this team this afternoon and beating them as an 8-point favorite. This is the thing here.
It happens every year for you guys. You always lose to some bums a couple times a year. Like, you always
not like this though, Kevin. Not like this. It's one thing to lose. That's the big takeaway for Rico and I. I said this earlier. It's one thing to stumble into a trap and lose a divisional game. That happens. The Dolphins destroyed Buffalo today for 60 minutes. Destroyed them.
Kev, let me ask you
this. Was it 3 years ago the exact same thing happened, except it was Taylor that went off on you guys for the Colts?
Yes.
It's the same thing. And then what happened? You went to like the AFC Championship game or something? Doesn't matter. Calm down.
So let me and I appreciate, and this is the thing that people have to realize, because Kev is really down the middle, and sometimes he's trolling, and right now I don't think he's trolling. So he's really he's saying, Bills fans, relax. We do this every year. Chill out. But I have to say there is a glaring issue with Josh's weapons. And if this is a trend, it's not trending well.
You got to kind of recalibrate this. You remind me of the Kansas City Chiefs offense of a couple of years ago, right? They had a pretty good offensive line, or at least the Chiefs had that dominant interior trio, right? And they were more of a lower scoring running game, keep it close. And at the end of the game, the MVP quarterback is going to pull out some magic and win a close one. The defense is good, not great. You got a lot of injuries, but at the same time, like, you got anyone coming back to take Poyer out? Because Poyer got beat for 2 touchdowns today.
We already know what we have in Poyer. We are what we are.
Is this to the end of the year? Or you got someone? Is Rapp out for the year?
Rapp is on IR right now, and They said he was out indefinite, so I don't think he's coming back. So we'll see.
Oof.
Yeah.
Hamlin. I mean, at this point, I don't know. Hamlin might be better than, at least Hamlin can tackle.
Well, here's the deal. Bills fans were praising Jordan Poyer for his ability to lead and be a vet presence for Cole Bishop, because Cole Bishop is playing some good football as of right now. That's the bright spot defensively in that backfield. Yeah. But for Poyer's Poyer, bro. Poyer's Poyer. I do have to ask you this though. You're saying, well, who scares you in the AFC? Well, you got the Colts that are 8-2. You got the Denver Broncos at 8-2. You got the freaking Patriots that beat us already at 8-2. So there's your top 3. Then you got Pittsburgh, and then the Chargers, and then the Bills. Jacksonville.
Any of those teams you just said, any of those teams you just mentioned scare you?
Yes, the Broncos. No. The Broncos defense is legit.
No, the Broncos don't even scare me. I'll be honest there.
Pull your nuts out.
No, don't disrespect the Broncos like that.
The Broncos.
I'll disrespect the Broncos.
Playoffs. Bo Nix is not the guy. He's so up and down. All he can do is play out of the pocket. If you can keep him in the pocket, maybe with Joey Bosa with 2 hands when he doesn't have his hand in a club, you know what I mean? Like, keep him in the pocket and he's useless. Like, you're not losing to that team. There is no chance. You are not losing to the Colts. No chance. Who else did you name? Oh, the Patriots. You're better than the Patriots.
I mean,
right now. I mean, they're well coached.
That's questionable. Now you're getting out of pocket now, bro.
I need him to become my shaman. I need to get a daily dose of this to make me feel better.
I mean, he got cooked by a Waddle all game, except for the long, the good cup. Which one? I don't know.
That was a great route.
Which one?
The one that got cooked like hard. Which one? He says.
Which one? Yeah. But Harrison's going to be a good player. He's going to be a good. I'm just teasing. He's going to be a good player. I can see it. He's Waddle is a tough guy to tough game for you guys, eh? You were trying to trade for Waddle and he scored. You were trying to trade for who's the other guy I heard? Olave, he scored. Yeah. And I wonder if Shaheed I saw him do a nice play, but nah, man, just relax. You need is Ed gonna make it back? Doc
no,
he's making it back for the playoffs.
Ed, they say if he makes it back, maybe first week of playoffs, maybe.
No, Doc said maybe the AFC Championship.
Maybe AFC Championship. What's that, buddy?
Did I tell you I have the same injury?
Tell me more about it.
Oh, I blew out my arm. Yeah, same thing. Exact same injury as.
When did you do this?
A few weeks ago.
Oh, there you go. So you're out of commission.
Yeah.
Listen, I need last words for you before you get out of here, folks. With my man. By the way, for those that are wondering, this is Kevin, the Dolphin fan. Big time friend of the show, a buddy of mine. Listen, overall thoughts on the Dolphin game, and overall thoughts on the rest of the Bills and the year for the Bills and where you think you go. You said AFC Championship game, but I don't know if I'm feeling that.
He said Super Bowl.
Oh, did he say Super Bowl? My bad. He said Super Bowl.
I think you lose Super Bowl.
Wow.
I think you're going to play in the Super Bowl to play Philly.
Wow. Even after watching these, you didn't watch this. Did you watch this game?
Of course, I watched the game.
My gosh, we look terrible.
You looked pretty good last week.
Yeah, we always look good against the Chiefs because we play up for the Chiefs. So maybe next week we play up for the freaking the freaking Tampa Bay Bucks. Who knows?
Yeah, well, let's see what it is. My final thoughts are: calm down on offense. Cook looked a little hobbled out there. I know he's battling something. You got to lean on your run game. I thought you gave up on it too early. Josh, when you get those, I like how when you guys were struggling, he started to run a bit. Do that earlier. If your team's looking flat in the beginning, run that quarterback power you guys used to run. Let him lower his shoulder. He's not going to fumble every game. You know what I mean? That was kind of like a fluke. Just like let him go. Your offense will be fine. On defense, you need Benford back. You need Turn Johnson back. I like Cam Lewis. Harrison's going to be good. Secondary and the second level looks good. What always concerns me is you guys just cannot stop the run. And maybe that's where I could kind of see you losing to a team like, say, Philly because of the offensive line. But none of these bums in the AFC are going to stop you guys. It's going to be
Jonathan Taylor had 220 yards today.
Jonathan Taylor had 280 yards rushing today?
220 today.
Yeah.
220. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
By the way, I there's a poll in the chat right now. And the question was, should Bills fans be panicking after the loss of the Dolphins? 82% said yes, this is unacceptable. There's 514 votes.
Like you got blown out by a Dolphins team with no Tyreek Hill. No.
So what are we doing here?
Waller didn't have the right guard. Didn't have the right tackle. Ollie Gordon barely played because he was hurt. Didn't have any Chop Robinson. Traded away Jaelan Phillips. Didn't have it was our seventh corner, literally seventh corner. But anyways, it doesn't matter. It was a shit game. You guys have them every year. You guys, this is the Bills franchise in a nutshell. Midway through the year, wasn't it 2 years ago? Yeah, it was 2023. You were 6-6.
Yep.
And they fired their OC.
The offensive coordinator was fired. Remember that.
Yeah, and it was the guy to give it to the guy who's doing it now.
Yeah.
And they had Diggs on the roster.
This is the problem. Because this offense is looking putrid.
Didn't you put up 600 points against the Panthers? And then didn't you just put up almost, was it 30 against the Chiefs last week or 28?
Kevin, cut it out. Now you're gaslighting us.
All right, let's roll. Let's roll here.
Calm down.
All right, Kev. We appreciate you.
All right.
You're a good man. We'll keep in touch.
I'll see you in the Super Bowl.
All right, buddy. That's my guy, Kev, our guy, Kev, friend of the show. Listen, Kev usually is objective, and he being someone in the AFC East, and he's a fan of the Dolphins, he says, guys, stop panicking. You guys are good. On the other side,
I would think that way too if I was him and had lost 14 of 16 games to that team going into it. Like, I would have thought the same thing. I would think that the Bills are better than they currently are because of the domination that he's had to witness from the Buffalo Bills, right? I don't know how you can watch that football game and say, relax, be fine, they're going to the Super Bowl. That he just rattled off every reason as to why you should not feel that way. He just listed off every single reason as to why you should not feel that way, yet feels that way. So if he was trolling, he did an expert level. He was at an expert level in terms of doing that, because there's no way you can watch that football. And he's talking about the bums in the AFC. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, that's 300 yards waiting to happen if the Bills defense plays like they have against some of these top tier running backs, right?
Jonathan Taylor, the Denver Broncos. I know you said you laugh at the Denver Broncos. That defense is on fire.
Their defense is incredible, but that offense, you think the Bills offense is bad? Watch a Denver Bronco game. If you think the Bills offense is bad, that offense is horrendously bad. Bad. They've won 3 games this year, Rico, where they've scored less than 20 points. Like, no team's doing that. It's how good the defense is. I'll give them credit there, but that's not a team that goes on a run.
Because you got the Patriots, we already lost to the Patriots. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what we're going to get out of the Pittsburgh Steelers when we do play them. Old man Rodgers out there, but who knows? Chargers can always be a good team. They can run the heck out of the football, and Amari Hampton will return soon. I don't know, man. This is it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one, man. And I'm watching Matt Collins make plays for the freaking Patriots.
60-yard bomb down the field in this game too. Put New England in the red zone,
bro.
Drake May is airing it out like you haven't seen before. He's one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL right now. The guy is leading the MVP race.
Who's his coordinator? McDaniel.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah.
That makes a difference. Our freaking,
of course it does. The guy's a Hall of Fame coordinator.
You damn right. You got a damn good head coach and you got a damn good offensive coordinator. Fam. And they got money. They were able to build this team up, man. Like, yo, I'm getting sick of watching this crap, man. Of us calling the rejects back to the squad again because we're broke. We ain't got none, and we're depending on Josh Allen and James Cook. Bro, the other guys have to step up at one point. At one point, you got to step up. Oh, God, man. This team's got, bro, it makes us pick and point at all the crap. I hate picking up, but it's just what it is. It's a product they're putting on the field, and we have no choice but to look at it. They gave us no choice but to look at what they gave us. It was like that movie Bird Box. They got our eyes open like this. Watch this bullshit. Watch it. That's where we're at today. Awful. So here we are. McDermott, Bean, Brady, Babbage. That whole squad. You guys put that display. Unbelievable. Listen, let me keep going here because I need to talk to you guys about something here. You can't win games, and I talked about it earlier. You can't win games turning the football over. That's number one. One of the underrated things that we have not talked about that needs to be brought up. We went 5 for 15 on third downs. Did you see that? The average yardage that we needed to get the first down was 8. 8 yards to get first down. What the heck's happening on first and second?
They couldn't run. Simple as that. They couldn't run the football.
Golly, man. Penalties weren't so bad. 6 penalties today.
No, it was the turnovers and when they happened. You had James Cook. They were on a scoring drive, and he fumbles the football. Then you have Josh Allen throw an egregious pick in the red zone. I don't even know where he was trying to go with that. I mean, Dawson Knox wasn't even remotely open. I don't know what. And it felt like a panic move because they needed points. Rico Kincaid was out. And the second Kincaid went out on that drive, you knew they weren't getting in the end zone. They had nobody to go with. They're now 0-4, too, by the way, on 2-point conversions. So they have nothing in the playbook that's able to be executed upon within a 5-yard range of the goal line. And then Allen on that late fumble there. Like, I'm not going to dog him for trying to get the extra yards. They're losing and they had to make plays. He just fumbled. But it was 3 turnovers, Rico, in enemy territory. 3 turnovers in enemy territory, 2 either in the red zone or on the outside, just on the outside of the red zone. It killed him. I mean, they also picked off Tua twice. Like, when do the Bills lose to the Dolphins in general, much less when they pick Tua off twice? Like, Rico, they picked off Tua twice and they lost by 17 points. On what planet does that even register to you?
Pathetic.
And then at the end of the game, like this is where to me, like the word pathetic and embarrassing is so fitting. To allow Achane to just rip off 40, 50-yard touchdowns on you, like at the end, was just sad. They went out sad in this football game. And it really felt like they just like called off the dog.
Buffalo Fanatics, what's going on? This is Pierre the Kingpin. And I wanted to talk to you today about Cigars International, which is the ultimate destination for premium homemade cigars. Known as the industry leader, Cigars International offers the largest selection, unbeatable prices, and a customer service experience that's second to none. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned vet, Cigars International makes enjoying cigars easy, approachable, and fun. Cigars International is the go-to retailer for all things cigars, with the biggest selection of premium homemade cigars available anywhere. Cigars International offers unbeatable deals and discounts, making it easy to stock up on your favorite or try something new without breaking the bank. With fast free shipping and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence knowing that Cigars International stands behind every order. They have good relationship with vendors that helps provide great low prices. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned pro, Cigars International makes it easy to find the right cigar with helpful guides, staff reviews, and expert advice. It's not just about cigars. Cigars International also offers a wide range of accessories and more to elevate your smoking experience. Check out the great deals every day at cigarsinternational.com. That's cigars, CIGARS, international.com. Use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply. Again, use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Man, like that's what was the most infuriating thing about this. Not only did you get rolled, but it just felt like it was such an uninspired effort. What was the cause of that? Wouldn't you think this team would be up after what they proved last week? Like I mentioned, the worst part about this loss, and there's many reasons to think this loss is brutal. The worst part about it, though, to me, Rico, is that you just completely pissed on any momentum you just built the last couple of weeks. You pissed on it.
You know what else? How else you showed me you pissed on it? By trotting out Ray Davis to kick an onside kick.
I mean, what are we doing? What was that?
That to me was the ribbon on the present, the bow right there. There's the onside kick. It doesn't even go 4 or 5 yards, and then we're offside already. Like,
how about the goal to run another end around? You imagine the Stones to run that play again? What is this, the third time? What are we doing? I don't care if this team's up 40. That play needs to be dumped in gasoline, coated in kerosene, and lit on fire in the middle of an open parking lot so it can just be engulfed in flames and burn for an hour, 2 hours. That's the third time they've ran it, Rico, this year. It hasn't worked once, not even close. You imagine running that play again after McDermott pretty much called it out. Remember, he called it out after it didn't work the first time? And they run it again. And they did it again today.
Let me ask you a question. By the way, great take. Clip that, by the way. Would it be too far-fetched if Brady was let go.
It's not happening. It would be too far-fetched. Yep.
You think so?
Yep.
Why?
That's not happening. Because it's week 11, the team's 6-3, and it's just not going to happen. I mean, it's not going to happen.
They did it. They did it to Dennison. I was about to say they did it to Ken Dorsey.
They were 6-6 at the time, 6-7 or 6-6 at the time after that loss.
So we need a few more losses before that happens.
And here's the other thing too. This is what's crazy is that going into this game, what were they? The third highest scoring team in the league on average. The lack of consistency is the issue. But I'm watching last week, and it felt like Brady and Allen were really in tandem. It felt like everything was working perfectly. They were in sync. I got that vibe. Today, there was nothing to be had. Nothing. And now it feels like Allen it feels like sometimes it gets to the point in the game where it's just like it's full panic mode on offense sometimes. That's the way it feels.
Insubordination. You said it earlier where he ran that damn end around again. Your head coach pretty much called you out and say, scrap that thing. Insubordination, Joe Brady. And if there was not someone that was an up-and-coming guy that could call plays, I'm telling you right now, McDermott would be ready to say, yo, you got to go, fam. Like this, it's not working out.
Well, McDermott can't be walking out of there with his head held high about his effort today in terms of play calling. I mean, they got destroyed.
One would ask, was he responsible for play calling today? Did he give back the play calling to Babbage?
There's no way.
It looked very different play styles today. I don't know about you, but it looked extremely different. But maybe you got Taron Johnson's out. You got Benford's out.
You got Benford out, but you got Bosa playing in a club, Rico, right? He's got this gigantic wasp nest on his hand.
Right.
You got Benford out. And then I think you saw today, by the way, with Oliver out and Hoyt out. You saw that today. The D line, and Tua throws the ball the fastest in the NFL. You just didn't see it today. There was no ability to stop the run, and they really weren't able to get after Tua the way that they were getting after the quarterbacks the last 2 weeks here. But how do you go from shutting down? You shut down Dowdle and help me out here, running back two in Carolina, the tandem there.
Oh, Chuba.
Thank you, Hubbard and Dowdle. You shut them down, and then in this one, like back to your old tricks, getting gashed. How many times a year are the Bills going to allow a running back to have 150 plus yards on him? This is the third time.
So look at this. Babbage was calling plays the first half, second half. McDermott had the play sheet in his hand, and it didn't get better in the second half.
This is all hypothetical here. Obviously, we're all speculating. On what planet? In what world does McDermott relinquish the play calling to Babbage in the first half in this game? For what reason? What reason on planet Earth would have allowed him to make that decision when you've been playing the way that you have ever since he inevitably took over at half of the Falcons game? If that's true, and I have no reason to believe that it is, I can't even entertain that theory. On what planet would he do that? If he did that, that's malpractice. If that happened, there's no way. I can't allow myself to think that happened. There's no possible way that happened.
Here's the way I look at it. You made mistakes before, you just can't make the same mistakes again. And it seems like we're returning to the same errors offensively. And this is where something has to give. So someone will have to step up and take responsibility, but not only take the responsibility, but make the changes. I'm not saying fire coach, make the change. I'm talking about make the changes positively enough to get this ball rolling again. Bruce Nolan texted. He put something on Twitter just now, and I remember this. When the Bills signed Emmanuel Sanders, he says, in March of 2021, after coming to Josh Allen, when Josh Allen had that monster year the year before. Mm-hmm. General Manager Brandon Beane said they didn't want to lose their what? What did you remember what they said? We don't want Josh to lose his what? His fastball. Remember that? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you do, right? They signed Emmanuel Sanders to make sure they didn't. So what the F has changed with Brandon Beane? Bro, give your guy his fastball. And you took the fastball away. His fastball was Stephon Diggs. You understood the assignment. And then I think you got all discombobulated by Josh getting the MVP without a fastball. He had a curveball here. He had a breaking ball. He had a knuckleball. He had a package of plays, which took away the fastball. And now that we need that fastball, we don't got it. We got all these other things that we just can't utilize and we don't know how to use right now. It's pathetic. It's pathetic display. So now you're going into dude, did you see the next 5? Our next 5 opponents?
It's an absolute
brutal.
Gauntlet.
It's brutal, man. Good luck. Good luck, Charlie.
Like I said, this was your last cupcake for a while. And not only you choked on the cupcake. I mean, I don't even.
Call it what you want. Call it what you want. You got the Bucks, you got the Texans, you got the Steelers, then you got the Bengals. And I know the Bengals don't have a winning record, but that offense is potent.
They're dropping 40 on everyone. You are going to need to score. I don't care what their record is. You need to score 35 points to beat Cincinnati. Now, granted, teams have been doing it, but you got to do it.
Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles. And I know the Browns offensively, they're dirt, but their defense is still legit. Texans, Steelers, Bengals, Patriots, Browns, Eagles, and then the Jets.
So this is another reason why this was so big today, because I looked at that schedule and I thought there's 3 gimmies there. That gets you to 9. So realistically, all you have to do is probably win 2 of those really tough games to get to 11 wins, obviously, and have yourself secured for a safe playoff spot. Now you drop one of those, right? Now you drop one of those gimmies. Like, you cannot lose a game like this today with the stakes at hand. I mean, the stakes have never been more. Like, the Chiefs at 5-4, you just sent them to 5-4. They are in a brutal spot right now. They're multiple games behind the Broncos, and they still have to play them twice, so they control their own destiny, Denver. And then they're also behind LA with the head-to-head and by a game. You send them to 5-4. Then you also start nipping at the heels of New England. And then you just, once again, you literally just unzip your fly and take a leak on all the progress you just made the last 2 weeks in one outing. And it would be one thing if they went out and, man, Miami played inspired football. They fired their GM. They're playing for McDaniel. They want to go out on a bang. You got destroyed. Like, I'm watching with my sister-in-law, and she's like, there's no way this Miami team only has 2 wins. I thought you said this Miami team wasn't good. And I'm like, yeah, I thought that too. You know, everybody else did too. The whole world thought that. Not today. Not today. I mean, if you were to not see the records on that screen today, Rico, I mean, you would never have thought.
You never know. You never know. Is this an overreaction?
Us.
What
would be the appropriate reaction? Because Kevin's was just as absurd.
Legitimate question. Is this an overreaction? It's a legitimate question.
I feel like we're not overreacting enough. I feel like we've been actually pretty civil about this whole thing. The Bills just lost by 17 points to a 2-win Miami Dolphins team. I don't think we're crashing out enough, to be honest. Caroline actually complimented me. She said, "You're handling this very, very well." I said, "Yes, honey." I said, "Yes, honey. You're due with our baby in about 24 hours. I'm trying to be as calm as I possibly can here." Thank God Caroline didn't have that baby earlier, and that would have been one of the first things he or she had to witness, by the way. Thank God. Thank God. I don't think we're overreacting. Rico, they hadn't even trailed by 17 points this season, much less lose by 17 to a team. Once again, if this was against literally anybody else, like it was against the team that you have literally dominated more than any team has in the span in which the Buffalo Bills drafted Josh Allen. No team has dominated a single other team like the Bills have dominated the Dolphins since 2018.
Unreal.
And this is the other thing, too. Like, we are not emphasizing. I've said it 10 times probably this show, and I'll say it another 10 because it can't be overstated. This team fired their general manager last week. That's how bad this year is going. And everybody's talking about them shipping Tua and getting rid of McDaniel at the end of the year and shipping off Tyreek Hill. There was obviously blatant rumors about moving off of Jaylen Waddle. This team's in tank mode, Rico, essentially.
Listen, I'm going to say this right now.
Do you think we're overreacting?
No, I think we're reacting right on par. And I'm going to take it up a notch a little bit more and really pinpoint it where it really needs to go, because that's the difference maker. The difference maker is a guy that distributes the football, and that's Josh Allen. Josh Allen, we go as far as Josh Allen is going to take us, and right now he's not playing up to par. He's not. He's holding on to the football far too long. I'm watching this game thinking, okay, Hike, he's got the football. And all of a sudden, he's bailing already getting out of the pocket, holding onto the football. Take the check down. Take the check down. There's no problems with taking the check down. Like James Cook is an absolute great release valve. You don't take that. He's not taking his check downs, and he's not taking what the defense gives him. And which thus makes him hold on to the football, and now makes the offense look out of complete whack. Is Joe Brady out of sort? Absolutely. But so is Josh. And right now we go as far as Josh takes us. He continues to do the stuff that he's doing. He's going to make life harder for himself as well. He's making life harder for himself. You're doing too much, man. You're doing too much. Take what's there. Take what's given to you, especially because you know what weapons you don't have. You don't have the speedster. It's clear. So holding onto the football and getting guys to do backyard football stuff, bro, it gets old. It gets old. Take the damn check down. Take what you got. Stop holding onto the football and call it a day. The run game ain't going to work. So do what you used to do. Run with the football. Give yourself some space. Do what you need to do. But like holding onto
that was the problem. Well, you know what? Kevin made a good point earlier among the list of things that he was saying that was beyond delusion. I still can't believe that was his take on the whole thing. But Josh Allen needs to run the ball. He needs to run the ball more. They don't have the luxury anymore, in my opinion, to not like. I know they want to preserve his legs, especially when it gets later on in the season. I don't know if they have the luxury of it anymore. They do not have a threatening enough pass game for him to not incorporate his legs more. I mean, I really do think like Allen needs to start running the ball 7 to 10 times a game.
You're gonna have no choice. I know we're 6-3 right now, and what we're gonna wait till we're 6-4 and then 6-5. Oh, now we want to start. Look, you need to start doing it now, because this is where teams are going to start to pull away, and then we're gonna find out.
I want to make a point on this because I agree with this. Yep. You know, it's the NFL bot. Miami played their best game. We played like ass. I get it. Once again, like I said, if the Bills, Miami was due to beat Buffalo. Buffalo had beaten them 7 straight times. But let me just paint the picture here, okay? There's a difference between losing to the Dolphins and losing by 17, going scoreless in the first half and being down by 16 at halftime. Let me give you some numbers here. Not only were the Bills 14-2 against Miami going into this one with 7 straight W's, they had been averaging 33 points per game against them with an average margin of victory of nearly 13 points. To lose the way that they did, not just to the Dolphins, but what makes it 10 times worse is that they were without Jaelan Phillips, who they traded. They were without Rasul Douglas. They were without Chop Robinson. They were without Tyreek Hill. And you lost to them worse than you've lost to any team in some. I mean, that was one of the worst losses, I think, under Josh Allen. Rico, wouldn't you agree? When you factor in the timing of the year, the way that they lost, the opponent that they lost to, and the team that they're currently fielding right now, where they just fired their GM, they're without multiple starters. There's a big difference to me, and this is why this is more concerning than just losing a divisional game, and we all know those aren't gimmies. They didn't just lose it. They got destroyed, and they also put forward a very uninspired football game. The team looked gassed the entire time. And then at the end, they kind of laid down. They allowed 2 massive runs to inflate the score. And everything just came so difficult on offense. Like the difficulty level. I mean, okay.
We talked about that. We know. We understand it. But
I don't think that's the lone takeaway from this.
This has been consistent, too consistent for me. The Bills' inconsistencies have been too consistent, and we need to start seeing a lot more consistency in a long stretch, right? You can't give us a Chiefs game and the Panthers game and then give us this game. Prior to those 2 games, you had 2 games where you took an L. Come on, man. We got to be better than that. We got to be better. And we're right now where we're not. Hold on. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last 5 games, the Bills are 3-2.
Yes. And 2 losses are to 2 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs.
Oh, man, we got to be better. Right?
I just don't get how you put that performance out against the Chiefs, just to follow up with this. It was night and day. And the things that you were just touching on with Allen, were so on fire last week. He didn't hold on to the ball too long, but he also did stay in the pocket and allowed the routes to develop. He was dead on accurate. He was using the short, middle, and long game. And it all just was completely disappeared this weekend. And, he was just one piece of the puzzle in this one. Nobody looked good in this game. Nobody.
He's the big piece of this puzzle. And if he's not settled, it becomes a mess. He gets jittery Josh again. And by the way, I said the last 5 games, since we've lost to the Patriots, losing to the Patriots, losing to the Falcons, winning Panthers, winning against the Chiefs, lose to the Dolphins. This next stretch is as important for the season. I'm telling you right now, and I love fans who are like, we're 6-3, chill out. Bro, those games are going to creep up on us real quick. All of a sudden, we're 6-6. Oh, shit. We got to get it together. Might be too late.
That's the thing.
Won.
The Bills had the second easiest strength of schedule.
Oh, Lord.
Going into the bye, right? I mean, now it's a total opposite. You listed off the gauntlet earlier. I mean, the opponents you have around the bend here, the Bucks, Texans, Steelers, and the Bengals on offense that can light up the scoreboard against anybody, and then the Patriots. So of those games, you're staring at 4 of the 5 are against playoff teams, and the one non-playoff team is a team you got to score 35-plus points to beat.
And here's the thing, too, right? I got to say this. Nobody's open, Rico. There's never a play where everyone is freaking locked up. Never. It's never that way. Josh is holding on to the football too long, or he's locked onto a receiver too long. And then by then, it's too tough. He's bailing. So his eyes are just locked into. There's nobody getting open. There's always someone open. Never tell me that there's somebody open. Nobody's ever locked on. There's never that person that takes him. There's always that one person open. We just don't happen to look at there. And happening all the time, bro, no. So,
and dude, like, Kincaid being out is...
Oh, that's going to hurt so much. So much.
He's really been the entire passing offense beyond the screens and dumps to Khalil Shakir. And I had been saying for the longest time, you got to start targeting him like 12, 13 times a game, because it's really the only thing that seems to work with a level of consistency beyond giving Khalil Shakir the ball behind or shortly in front of the line of scrimmage. And now with him out, like, what is your pass game, Rico? And I saw a couple chats in here that are dead on. The predictability of this offense is remarkable. Every first down's a run, and then the majority of the passes are just either screens or dumps. And now with Kincaid out, you have no threat in the deep middle or the intermediate middle.
Reminds me of Dorsey. We were saying the same things about Dorsey. Predictable. This guy's predictable. Run, pass. Run, pass.
And the health of Kincaid is now becoming a major concern, where he's just hurt all the time now. All the time.
McDermott mentioned the injuries, and he goes, he doesn't even know the answer. He's like, dude, these guys are dropping too quickly. Guys are not staying around long enough. It's pathetic. And I'm like, and there's a play today that really is up my crawl. And I can't get over it. We're fourth. What was the play? 4th and 1. 4th and 1, and we decided to go deep to Jackson Hawes. Was I right in that? Did that happen? Am I remembering this correctly?
No, 4th. Oh, well, I'll tell you why they did that. Because they ran this exact same play against Kansas City a week ago in a similar situation, and it worked to perfection. And here's why it worked so well. The Bills had established the run early in that game, and the run was working really well. James Cook had a great day. That allowed the play action to really set up for the Buffalo Bills against the Chiefs, and Josh Allen had a terrific passing game. So by the time they had to use that play, they had already had the run established, and the play action was working well. So Josh Allen, play action to James Cook. Cook rolls out, Rico. He's wide open for a dump off and a first down. That was the play. Miami clearly knew it was coming because they had 2 guys completely shut down Cook on that route. Allen had nobody open because the play was designed to go to nobody but Cook to get the first. So he throws it deep, and the rest is history. Run the football on 4th and 1.
Thank you. Stop.
No, I'm just explaining to you why it didn't work. It should have been a run, though.
Stop. Run the fucking football, man. You have a 6'4" quarterback against a team that's inferior. Run up the gut. Push that thing. You got too cute. Again. Stop it, man. This is what I'm talking about. The decision making coming from these coaches, bro. That's what's killing us. 4th and 1, and Josh got to be like, yo, like a pitcher. You got to be like, no, we're not running that. You run what I want to run. Golly, man. 4th and 1. Let's go to Jackson Hawes against Minka Fitzpatrick. Turnover on downs.
Dude, Cody's making a good point too. They Miami called a timeout, but the Bills ran the play, and they already showed they were going to pass, and then they went out and passed again.
Dude, come on, man. Give me a freaking break. This is what I'm talking about. That's the crap I'm talking about. Like, dude, man, like that's enough. And you want to be able to compete for a Super Bowl? That's going to compete for a Super Bowl? You can't even beat Tua freaking Tagovailoa? Golly, I'm sick. All right, I'm sick of this guy. I'm sick of this team, and I'm ready to get into the super chats. You ready for the super chats?
Yep.
Crying out loud. By the way, shout out to my guy,
Money Mitch.
Money Mitch. Money Mitch says, yo, if I told you that Allen went 28 for 40, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Tua had 2 picks, who would you say won this game? I believe we can win a championship game with this roster. That's Bean. And I know that lead roster is being absolutely he's being what we call cheeky with that comment, because that's not what and I know that's not what he means. He comes back, he goes, by the way, my last super chat wasn't meant to praise Allen, but to criticize the GM. No one to throw to, can only win games by 1 away, etc. I do not like Brandon Bean, too conservative. BF is the best there is. You know what it is. You know I'm going to hit that. In all seriousness, it's challenging, man, because when you see the roster that we have and where we're supposed to be, and it sucks because we're dealing with a lot of injuries. Taron Johnson out, Christian Benford out, Joey Bosa with a club on his hand, Michael Hoyt that gave us all the juice in the world out, AJ Epinesa out,
Ed Oliver out, Josh Palmer out, Kincaid now will be out. Last week, James Cook missed some practice time.
8 prominent players out.
And they're one tweak away. Out. Like if James Cook gets banged up again.
Like the injuries are it is, we can't dismiss the injuries. I'm never one to really jump on the injuries and say, because I'm all about the next man up. But a healthy squad, bro, we should be able to compete. But guess what? Everybody deals with these injuries. So get it together.
The injuries were not why they lost today.
No, definitely not.
At all. There's no excuse for losing the way that they did. We're just mentioning the injuries because it makes it that much more concerning. To lose a game like this and then also have these injuries compiling, like it's really starting to demoralize you a little bit based on how you feel about this team. Now, back to what Mitch was saying there. You know, if you were to know ahead of the game, right, 28 of 40, 300 yards, right, 2 picks, what you'd also have to tell me is that the Bills turned the ball over 3 times in Miami territory. I'd also need to know that too, to get a good idea of how this game went. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it was such a pivotal point of this football game. To me, right off the bat, much like last week, Rico, against the Chiefs, when the Bills ran down their throat to open the game, a 7-minute drive and a touchdown, you knew that they were going to be on that game. In this game, when they picked off Tua to immediately go 3 and out, it was the opposite of last week where you saw, oh, this feels like they're flat. Then they would go on to have 3 consecutive 3 and outs, right? Boom. Now, the other point here, I believe we can win a championship with this roster. I believe you can too. Last year, you were 3 points shy going to the Super Bowl with pretty much this exact same roster. And I think many of us would agree going into this year, the argument was that the Bills have a better roster than last year. Added Josh Palmer, added Bosa, drafted Max Harrison, added Elijah Moore, right? And then James Cook, you wouldn't even have expected James Cook to be on pace for the year that he's having, right? So you've been proven right. Bean's been proven right. The problem is if this roster plays like this, then that's not a championship caliber team.
Brutal.
Well, it's saying stop bringing up last year. Well, I got to bring up last year because we're talking about whether or not this team's championship caliber. This roster, for the most part, almost exclusively the same, outside of additions that you think makes this team better, was a championship caliber team a season ago. So this is why we're all sitting here like just our heads are spinning. Because
our heads are spinning. Our heads are spinning. Check this out. GPA says, Number one, my first game was at Rich Stadium. I'm an old head. Number two, you have the best show. I'm done. I'm swallowing wings tonight. The whole
Nice.
whole, so it choked me out at the end. Listen, GPA, appreciate you. Don't choke him out. Don't choke out, buddy. Don't choke out. My man, Real Dan Echo. What up, Danny? Danny comes in with a big super chat. We appreciate you, Danny. You know we do. Reality check. Playoffs not guaranteed. We beat Kansas City at their worst. No receiver one, killing us. Actually, we played them at their best right now. Like they're fully ready to go. Right. The only guy that we're missing was Pacheco, but I'm hearing you out. No number one receiver killing us. Coleman's. Okay. Hold on. Coleman's a bust. No separation from receivers. Save Kincaid. He's hurt. Pats are the real deal. Josh fighting to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. I mean, Josh ain't. He certainly ain't serving anything great either. He certainly ain't serving anything great, but his complimentary pieces aren't helping. They certainly are not. I can't wait until you go through that all 22 and see what you see. I wish I could watch it myself and get it. I'll probably just have to turn my VPN on and go and do that. Because I need to see for myself to see, were they that bad, or was Josh holding on to football, or a combination of both? We're going to find out. Signified Nose comes in and says, two things can be true. Josh Allen was absolutely awful today, but it's also undeniable that our receivers are absolutely awful. They pointed out multiple times how none of them were getting open. I heard that multiple times too. Just not helping.
Yeah, Charles Davis was all over that on the broadcast. He was beating that to death.
Oh, he couldn't get over it. This is terrible. And I saw Kincaid the first time. This is the first time this year that I saw a blatant, shitty ass, lazy, garbage ass route by Keon Coleman. Garbage. Like, if I saw that, I'd be like, I ain't going to him either. And if you're gonna, and like, is it too much scrutiny to bench him and be like, bro, you're not doing it? But who are you gonna bench him for? Maybe mix it up. Maybe put him in the slot and put Khalil on the outside and get something, because something's got to give at this point. I don't know what they're going to do, but something's got to give.
By the way, Sean McDermott, we had the conversation just a second ago about whether or not this is a championship roster. Thad Brown tweeted this out earlier. Sean McDermott was asked if he still thinks this Bills team is a championship roster. McDermott responded, quote, "I love these players. I really do."
The hell does that mean?
That is not answering the question. Once again, I want to reiterate, the way that this team's playing with this roster and with the injuries, it's not a championship caliber team. I saw this roster last year. They'll go to the AFC Championship, put up 29 points and lose by 3. So I don't know what the explanation is.
Signified. We have 8 games left. Nothing is guaranteed anymore. Only three more wins, and 9-8 is a real possibility. Scary part is, in that theory, the Patriots should only get better after this. Oh, that is the scary part. Not only do you have the same 2 coaches coming back, you have Drake May that'll get a lot more experience, and now they're gonna build even more and get him some young, fresh bro.
Yeah, it's not like their weaponry is the Bills' cast off and what they're doing with that. I mean, their weaponry is Matt Collins and Stephon Diggs. I know Booty's had a good year, but it's not like they have T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and they're bombing the ball over the field. 8-2.
It goes to tell you that we didn't do a good job replacing what we let go. We did not. Donald Coleman says, hey, elephant in the room. Number 17, indecisive and sloppy. Facts. He wasn't good today. He wasn't great. And here's the thing. When we say Josh wasn't good today, Josh is he's got such a standard. He's raised his standard so high that we're expecting greatness every time. So when he plays mediocre, that's bad for Josh. And that's where we come in by saying he played bad, because that's not Josh ball. That's not good football that he's playing, not to his standards. And I'm sure if you were to ask him, he'd say, I got to be better. And I'd quote, it's on me. It's probably what he would probably say. It's on me and I got to be better. Like any other leader quarterback would say.
I mean, at the end of the day, Rico, he turned the ball over twice today, too. Like, that can't be ignored. Josh Allen turned the ball over twice of the 3, right? Yep. And I'm looking for the number here. My dad sent it to me. I believe this is the first time Allen has both lost a fumble in a game and thrown an interception in the game in forever. Like, I'm looking for the exact time, but it's been a very, very, very long time. So,
and I bet you the times that he's done it, they certainly didn't win, because you can't fumble the ball away and throw the interception and still win games. And if he has, fascinating. By the way, my man Teddy says, curious on Buffalo's declining first and third for Waddle. Yeah, man. So what the word is out there is the Bills offered a 2027 first round pick and a third 2027 first or this year's third round pick. I'm not sure exactly what it was. The Dolphins were willing to play ball. Was it this year's third?
This year's third, 27 first. Allegedly, Bean wasn't willing to swap the 27 first for the 26 first, which is what Miami wanted. If that's real, Rico, I am beside myself about it.
Facts, because you valued that first round pick rather than giving your quarterback a fastball in order to be a difference maker. Give Miami your damn pick. You're picking late anyway. You're picking late. Like you conceded. You pretty much told that you value the picks over the player. You value picks over the player. And that is where if somebody were to have beef with McDermott, then I'm with you. Well, you know what I mean? Sometimes you got to have two players to play ball. But yeah, you got to give up a little bit. You can't win it. Yeah, I'll give you next year's 27. No, I want this year's. This is the one that I want. If I'm giving you a premier player, give me what I want. No, you get next year's. I don't want it then. F off. And I would have been pissed off too. I would have been like, peace. Go and be. And the fact that they beat them today is even worse. Now that I'm really thinking about it, we went to get Waddle. You could have had him, but you got, whether you want to call it greedy or not, but then they denied you and said, you know what? Let me whoop that ass on top of that. Ooh, buddy. Come on now. And now you're going to have people talk about all week. How does Pagula look at this? Does Pagula say, bro, you mean to tell me you had that and you didn't give him that 20?
I'm trying to corroborate this, by the way, because I had heard this, but I'm trying to find a legitimate source on it. I had heard this too, but I'm trying to find a real source on it.
Fine. You do the sources. I'll be reading these super chats as we go. Shout out to our guy, John Wozniak, mortgage specialist. What up, Johnny? My man from Canada. What's up? He goes, time for a change, culture and staff change. I don't care who. A high school can come and make the playoffs with Allen. Jet sweep again. Davis onside kick. Not being ready for this game is inexcusable. They did look like they didn't come off the plane. How wild is this? Not scoring until the fourth quarter? Are you kidding me? 0 points until the fourth quarter? And you want to win a game? Bro, we had no business winning that. No business. Shout out to my man John again. He comes in and says, hey, now for Bean, hasn't added talent for Josh the last 2 years. And now we got to give him pass because he tried to make a trade last week. Nah, man, he's complicit in this crap and wasting Josh. Ooh, that's a good point. Like there's only so much, bro. You went from never not wanting Josh to lose the fastball to you had 2 years of opportunity to get Josh the weapons he needs, and you failed him. You didn't give him good enough weapons. Simple as that. Simple as that. And I'm thinking Kincaid is going to be – look at the way they used Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley was Josh's go-to. And then all of a sudden, you think that you replace Cole Beasley with Kincaid, which is a guy that gives you yak. Bro, we're going to continue to cook off of that. No, we're not. We're right where we are. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Fluffy Panda goes, I know this year has been crazy, but if it feels like we've regressed, and I'll bet a majority of Bills fans would trade missing playoffs for everyone fired. I mean, I don't know where everyone's mind is. As for me, I told you, I've got the rope in my hand. I'm not ringing that bell yet, but I'm reaching for that rope. Be like, yo, what's going on? Because in the last 5 games, folks, we're 2-3. We're 2-3 in the last 5 games. Let that sink in for a quick second.
So I just confirmed from Tom Pelissero, the Dolphins replied to Bean's request. So Bean, the offer to Miami for Jaylen Waddle, a 2027 first, a 2026 third. According to Tom Pelissero, the Dolphins did respond saying that they wanted a 2026 first to be part of the package instead, and then wound up not moving him. He doesn't confirm that Bean denied that, but I feel like that's the logical takeaway.
It is a logical one.
Unless he means that they wanted a 2027 first and a 2026 first, but I don't think that seems reasonable. I feel like they wouldn't.
But hold on. So let's go there. What if they said, I want both your first and that third?
No, you can, I don't think you can do that. But I'm wondering if Palacero said that what the Bills offered for Waddle was far and away higher than what anybody else had offered. So there's no way that the Dolphins could also be asking for 2 firsts. Right? That doesn't really make sense. If what he meant was the Dolphins responded saying we want the first round pick to be 2026 instead, then I simply cannot fathom that was not done.
Being messed up.
If that's the case.
Being messed up then, if that's the case. Give that up. Is that the way? Let me send you this. I'm going to send you the link because my thing doesn't play audio. Hold on. I'll just look for it. You want Pellicero?
No, I just sent it to you on Twitter. I want you to play this for the audience, and I want us to decipher what we think he means by this. Shout out to Renaissance Man though for having the clip on Twitter. I just sent it to you. I want us to understand. I want us to decide ourselves what we think he means by this.
All right, let me open it up here. Give me a second. All right, give me a sec here. So before I do play it, what are your thoughts? Do you think that's exactly what they meant?
I got to hear it again.
Okay, give me a sec.
By the way, play the audio and then open up another tab and don't show the video because we'll get clipped.
Just play the audio.
Yeah.
If I can. Let's see what you mean.
Play that and then open up another tab and open that tab. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just do it. Who cares?
Here, I'll play it out with another about.
The Bills did not make a trade before Tuesday's deadline, but it was not for a lack of trying. I am told the Bills made a run at multiple big targets within the AFC East, offering a first-round pick as part of a package to the Dolphins for wide receiver Jaylen Waddle and to the Jets for defensive lineman Quinnen Williams. In fact, I am told the Bills had the highest offer for Jaylen Waddle, but Miami wanted a first-round pick in 2026, not 2027 as part of the package. Ultimately, Miami decided that the Bills' offer, which also included a third-round pick in 2026, was not enough to move their start.
Can we talk about this for a second here? I want you to pretend to be Bean here, and I want you to give me the reason why you wouldn't do the 26 as opposed to the 27. Give me one good reason. Give me one good reason. One reason you think he had. Because I got to know what the hell the mindset was there.
So, if he's not making that trade, the only reason I'm thinking is, dude, if I give you my first, I only have a second, and I have a fourth, and that's not enough capital for me to try to build this team up. But maybe you're just one piece away offensively to make this thing happen. So I still can't fathom what a good enough reason is. Too much capital? Give me a break. Can I not afford Waddle? Did Waddle just get paid recently? Is it a contract thing?
But then why would he offer the 2027 first if it's a contract thing?
It's not a contract thing then.
He tried to get him.
He overplayed his hand. He thought that this is a fair enough deal. Take it. Dolphins are like, you're in a buyer's market, big guy. So you're not at the advantage. I have the upper hand here. I want that 26 and the 23rd.
That's like being willing to trade a peanut butter and jelly for someone's chips at lunch, and they say, oh, you have creamy peanut butter? I'll make the trade if you use crunchy peanut butter instead. And you say, no, I'm just using the creamy. Sorry, I'm not using the crunchy. It's still a first-round pick. Rico, if the Bills end up finishing the year like they have in years past, that pick is what? At the very best, pick number 20, if the Bills fall off a cliff at the end of the year here? You are not drafting somebody as good as Jaylen Waddle in the mid-20s, especially with this track record. Why on earth would that be the straw that breaks the camel's back? I have got to know why on earth that was not an immediate, all right, we'll swap it.
And it's
essentially an early second-round pick based on where Miami usually picks.
And they got rid of their GM. You're not really dealing with their actual GM that's been there for years. This is somebody else. You had your opportunity, and you didn't take it.
Is there something we're missing here that we're missing that would make this make more sense?
No. Now that I heard that, what I need to hear, I can understand if every media analyst drags Brandon Beane for this. And quite frankly, could this be if the Bills don't succeed and do what they needed to do, and the result of them not succeeding is that the receivers are costing Josh, Pagula does have to step in and say, okay, bro, enough's enough. You overplayed your hand. Take the 2026. Get out of here with that. Unless you go and find yourself a receiver that is going to fall in your lap late first round. Nah, bro, you had an opportunity. You effed it up. You fumbled the bag. He fumbled the bag. He fumbled the bag. No.
You're already willing to give up a first. In what world does the year matter if you're willing to get rid of the first for that type of talent? You either have these are your options. Acquire that talent or throw your hat in the ring of the lottery to try and find somebody who's equal to that talent. What's more of the sure thing? How could that possibly be what wound up not getting this done? There's got to be something we're missing for this to make sense. And if there isn't, then this is pure lunacy to me.
Yep. So does this make you look at Brandon Beane differently now?
I got to know if there's something I'm missing here before I even answer that, because I'm genuine. You don't think so? Is there a cap ramification or something based on the year of the draft pick or something that we're missing?
You just said it. He was going to give him 2027. Take 2026.
I know, but is there like a cap ramification for picking in 26 as opposed to 27 or something? I mean, I don't know.
Doubtful.
Okay.
Did he fumble?
Then I of course, you're at the goal line. You're at the goal line here. It sounds like all you had to do was just extend the ball out. And you took a knee? I mean, this team, you're also kicking the can down another year. Like, you're in the window now with Josh Allen.
Yep.
Like, the 27 draft's going to be there. Get the guy you can get now to change this team.
Unbelievable. Oh, Bills fans, you have every right to drag him. Every right to drag him. Every right.
And then to have him go out today and cook them on top of it all.
There it is. Now you're with me.
Wow.
Now you're with me. And I'm it's funny because I'm typing in just for fun to Chat GPT. And I said, if you were Brandon Beane, what would be a legitimate reason as to why you would not accept Miami Dolphins counter?
Give it to me.
I'm going to give you the answer right now. All right, here's what they say. And the way I set it up was, if you're Brandon Beane, what would be a good reason why you did not accept Miami's counter of wanting the 2026 first and the 2026 third? I gave him the context. The Bills offered the 2027 first and the 2026 third, and the player involved is Jaylen Waddle.
They offered a 2027 first. Fix that, by the way.
So that way I did put 2020, 2027 first and 2026. So
let's see what the AI has to say, because I certainly can't make heads or tails of it.
If I'm stepping into Brandon Beane's shoes here, the cleanest and most defensible reason to decline Miami's counter is this: strategic reasoning, protecting near-term draft capital. A 26 first-round pick is simply too close to the Bills' current competitive window. Buffalo needs that pick to stay flexible as contracts age, cap space tightens, and the roster inevitability turns over. By offering 27 first, Beane pushes the cost further down the road, buying time to maximize Josh Allen's prime without sacrificing critical draft infusion into 2026. So the value alignment, he goes, Jaylen Waddle is a dynamic player, but surrendering both the 26th first and third would mean giving up two premium assets in the same draft. That's a steep price, especially when the Bills already have offered a first just 1 year later, plus third. Beane can argue that Miami's ask overvalues Waddle's relative to market precedent for top receivers. Divisional rivalry factor, Trading with Miami is already risky. Overplaying the draft capitals to direct AFC East rival could strengthen them while weakening Buffalo's future. I don't believe that nonsense right there. So how Bean could frame it publicly. We value Jaylen Waddle tremendously, but we also value the ability to build through the draft. Giving up both first and third would have to be too much, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada.
So it's a long-winded way of saying it doesn't matter.
He fucked up. Pardon my language. He should have took it. You're worried about the future when you should be worrying about right now, today, because let's just say you make that move for Jaylen Waddle and that gets you a championship. Bro, you did your job. So he was the opposite of F them picks. He was like, I value those picks, but take this one here. You're not in the driver's seat. You're not in the driver's seat, Bean. You overplayed your hand. And people that do that, that's a sense of greed. That's a little bit of greed right there. Bro, you had an opportunity to help your quarterback. Should have did it. Josh would be absolutely thrilled to have Jaylen Waddle. Look what he did to Max Harrison. Boop, boop, and out, gone. Fam. Nah, he messed up. He messed up.
We're all getting cooked. Look at this. Even my boy Danny Mitchell made it on the freezing cold takes, by the way. We're all just getting cooked today. My man Dan got his own graphic on freezing cold takes, saying the Bills reclaiming the AFC East in about 8 hours. I mean, what an afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What an afternoon. Oh, my God.
Eddie Mitch getting on the freezing cold. Oh, boy, that's cold. By the way, I'm swallowing a whole wing. Yeah, he said he's swallowing wings. We got that part. Appreciate you. I hope you're all right, big guy. Bartek says, number one, you should shut down Cook. You shut down this offense. Number two, It would be poetic for the Pats to get the number one seed this year after we've been chasing it forever. Wouldn't that be something? Chasing it forever, and then the Pats go in and boom, get that.
It would make so much sense that I can't even, it would hurt me to explain to you how much sense that would possibly make. This is the life of a Bills fan, where when you finally get the generational talent and the best team you've had in a quarter century, you go up against the best dynasty in the sport since the last dynasty, which of course owned you and beat you 32 out of 35 times. Yep. Then as the window starts to close, that same dynasty that owned you for 2 decades now finds the solution at quarterback to the previous GOAT, are on an 8-2 start with that quarterback leading the MVP race as it stands right now, have a 2.5 game lead on the division with what I believe to be right now an 83% chance to win the AFC East, and with their remaining schedule of only having one winning team on that schedule, are in the driver's seat to get the 1 seed. This is the life of a Buffalo Bills fan in 4K high definition quality right in front of you. You're watching it unfold. Is that not the most Billsian thing you've ever heard?
100%.
Even when things are going right, they're going wrong.
100%. Unbelievable. By the way, let me read this first before I get to the Bible. By the way, my man, Signifies says, yo, Rico, you're in serious denial, bro. They pointed out multiple times on the broadcast how no one was getting open. In the second quarter, they were literally drawing circles on all our receivers getting clamped. Oh,
like I mentioned to you earlier, I think today was worse than the previous games in terms of receivers being able to get open.
Probably. I mean, listen, Signified, I probably am in denial. I'm probably in denial because I just cannot fathom that our receivers are that poor. But maybe they are. Maybe they are. I just can't bring myself to believing that. But shoot, maybe that's what the tape's going to tell us.
One other thing to factor in, too, is they had no run game established in this game, too. So that also really hurt the passing game as well.
I was surprised the Dolphins stopped the run game the way
they haven't been able to stop anybody running the ball. So you should be surprised.
I was shocked. These guys are allowing 150 yards a game. Golly. So, like, what? We're back to the bottom of the league now? Shoot. Adventures comes in and says, what is happening with the training staff? Year after year, the same thing with these injuries. Now Kincaid injured. Hopefully Palmer is back next week. We lose Kincaid just to gain Palmer back. Like, what does that do for us? Jeez. Martian X says, I don't know how much has changed. The differences in turnovers. Last year, we didn't turn it over. This year, we're giving the ball away. Today, for example, terrible. No doubt. 3 turnovers and crucial turnovers at that. My man Andrew comes in and says the last game at our stadium will be versus the Jets. I fear. I don't see a home playoff game happening. I don't think we deserve it. The way we've been playing, we don't deserve anything at home. Not whatsoever. I'm all for giving Gabe Davis a shot at the X receivers. 17% chance to make the playoffs Is that a sign when in doubt, trust 27? Go Bills? What?
No. So 17% chance to win the division. I think they have a 91% chance to make the playoffs. But it's going to be a wild card spot. And if things continue down this road, it's going to be a road wild card spot as well.
Tough. Mr. Bloomquist comes in. He meant number 17. I got you, Mr. Bloomquist.
Oh.
I got you. Tell Kev he's a jerk. Yeah, he definitely is a jerk. He was gaslighting. He just texted me saying, oh, by the way, I love being so positive for your Bills fans and watch them melt down.
I knew there had to be an angle to that.
He's so full of it. Bartek comes in and says, what's frustrating is that it was 16-0 going into the fourth quarter after shooting ourselves in the foot all game. Made it 16-6 and then continued to self-sabotage. Isn't that something? The minute you got a little bit of juice and then you kill yourself. And then the thing is, the game just felt so difficult and challenging for us to move the football. Jeez, Josh getting sacked, like, oh, man, just awful. Alexander comes in and says, the glaring issues are Joe Brady's situational play calling, lack of wide receiver talent, and D-line. D-line. I don't know if the D-line was – listen.
D-line wasn't good today.
The trenches defensively wasn't great. But we have to know this about Tua. Tua is a rhythm-based passer. 1-2 out, 1-2-3 out. It's all timing based. We should know that. It's like we totally forgot the game plan and just allowed him to just get settled and take away things. We didn't take away lanes. We didn't do anything. We didn't make him hold on to the football. Bad. My man Zuzu says, Rico, remember your rant defending Bean? Good thing we still got those picks. I still defend Bean, but this right now, inexcusable. Like, if you were able to give up a 26, give that up. I don't agree with that. I would have gave that up. Bot would have gave that up. I think a lot of Bills Mafia would have gave that up. Even AI was like, should have gave that up, kid. But this is why Bean would say no. And the reason was he values the picks. That's the only reason I can look at it. Ryan Bosworth says, how about no nonsense, no sense of urgency in the fourth? There was no urgency all game. All game, there was no urgency. My man Johnny Wozniak comes in and says, and why do we have a head ref review specialist? Can't even get the challenge flag out on time. Bro, did you see that? Waddle catches, I think it was Waddle that caught it.
Whoever it was didn't, I don't think they caught it.
Ball touches the ground, but at least it's worth a shot for you to have a look-see. Nope. Can't get it out. They ran the play, away you go. Hesitancy strikes again. Donald Palmer, Texans and Steelers now must-wins for the tiebreakers. They are must-wins. You got to win. A lot of these games are must-wins. In the conference, bro, these Bills might F around and not make these playoffs and keep effing around like that, man. And that's a sad reality. Get right 7. If we miss the playoffs, please finish.
I think he's saying, like, please finish the sentence, and I will. If the Buffalo Bills miss the playoffs, then there needs to be a change. There has got to be a change. You went into the season with what was considered to be one of the easiest schedules in the NFL. You have the Chiefs get off to the start that they do. You have a roster that, you have a quarterback right now that's in a limited window. I mean, the guy's going to be 30 next year. And if you go from being the team that was favored to win the Super Bowl and to get the 1 seed and to win the AFC East for a 6th consecutive year, and you not only squander all that, but you don't even make the postseason, a move needs to be made.
Okay,
unequivocally.
Where are you making your move?
Head coach and GM.
Okay, you're both of them got to go.
You miss the playoffs when you go into the year as the Super Bowl favorite. When you start off the year 4-0,
Bro,
sorry.
People that called, like Peter Schrager, he said the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. As of right now, when you're looking at this Bills team, they don't look like a Super Bowl contending team whatsoever. You got to be saying here, what the F is wrong with these guys? What is wrong with the play? What's wrong with these guys? Everybody's asking those questions right now. I think Josh is asking himself that question right now. I think McDermott is asking him that. Like, what is going on? They don't know. They can't answer the questions. Fluff, in a very optimistic fan. Seriously, he says, I'm a very optimistic fan, but you cannot ignore 5 to 6 losses will probably miss you the playoffs. What 5 teams fighting for 3 spots? I'm worried. This is where we got to make a run. You're right. You have every right to be worried about that. We got to make a run. And the run would have been beating the Chiefs, beating the Panthers, beating the Dolphins. There's your run. And now you got to build a momentum. Away we go. Now you lose one. So you've lost three of you got.
So in losing this one, you need to make it up with either a win against one of these teams that maybe you would have penciled a loss in, whether that be Tampa Bay, Houston, the Eagles, Pittsburgh. That's where you make it up. You got to do it.
It's funny because I had us losing to the Tampa Bay Bucks. So maybe.
And by the way, the Tampa Bay Bucks this week should have Bucky Irving back and Chris Godwin back, who they did not have in that Patriots game this afternoon.
Well, there you have it. Bring everybody back. Right in time. Right in time. My man Connor comes in and says, yo, other than week 1 versus the Ravens, this just isn't a team that I trust to come back and win if they're down early. It feels like they have to dominate from the beginning to the end to win. Otherwise, they just give up. I don't necessarily agree with that because, I mean, we saw the grit in that Ravens game, obviously. But we were healthy then. We were completely healthy. So now we're playing with a light deck of cards. We don't got a full deck yet, and we will never have a full deck. So, but I still do believe when you have 17, I still believe that if there are opportunities there, we can make it work.
But I did make this point earlier, like with the Chiefs game, you saw right off the bat what they were going to be bringing to the table in that game. In this game, offensively, they set the tone. They set the tone. 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. Like you knew what that team was going to have offensively in this game.
Bingo. You nailed it. Alton Venezuela. What's going on, Alt? He goes, hot take, the Bills fans always overlooks Allen's bad play and is getting old. He gets every excuse in the book when he plays bad. Well, it didn't happen this show because we certainly just said Josh didn't play well. Holding onto the football way too long. Not making the right reads. Locking in on one receiver way too long. Bailing out of the pocket too soon. Bro, this loss has a lot to do with Josh Allen tagged in with Joe Brady. And the defense not tackling, bro, it's a trifecta. But Josh is supposed to be the guy that erases errors and mistakes, and he added to them. Can't win that way.
The thing is, too, to also add to that is that the Chiefs game went a long way in terms of kind of whiting out a lot of the concerns we had prior to that. I mean, in reality, remove the Chiefs game, Josh Allen's rattled off a long string of games here where he has not played his best ball. That's just the truth. The Chiefs game was the outlier. And I was hoping that he would find that rhythm against Kansas City because he always gives his best game and then continue to build that. This is why this game was so demoralizing. Allen had his best game of the year against the Chiefs and then completely reverted back to what was happening prior to that game in this game. Yep. I mean, if you remove the Chiefs game, Josh Allen has rattled off a long string of very just based on his standards, like you mentioned earlier, based on Allen's standards. He has rattled off a long list of very average quarterback play based on his standard.
Based on his standards, because the standards are high. And he set the standard for himself. And we're like, bro, this is not your standard, so you're playing like crap.
And like Signified saying, like, well, you and I talked about this. You and I, we got in this debate the other day and with Bobby, right? Where Signified saying he didn't even play that well against Carolina. No, he didn't play well against Carolina at all. I'm including that Carolina game in this string of games here where outside of Kansas City, it was almost like the roller coaster was just slowly kind of going downward. And then it went on this big spike against the Chiefs. And then boom, back on a decline this Sunday here. Yep.
Sad display of football. Not happening. What do we got? We got HUK Music. He comes in. Although this game tastes like crap, and it's 1:30 p.m. here right now, and I have to taste this crap extra long, Josh Allen will get locked in, and we will make a run through the playoffs with this squad. Listen, the optimism is there. I like it. Right now, I can't. hard to take that in right now. I'm
at a believe it when I see it territory with this team now, where I don't know what to expect from this team any given week. We have no reason to believe with confidence that we can expect one version of this team or the other, where you have a defense give up 150 plus yards on the ground to Bijan Robinson and Devon Achane, but then you have a game where they go out and they shut down Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard and they sack the quarterback 7 times. Then you force Patrick Mahomes into his worst outing in the regular season, maybe ever, and Josh Allen has his best game. Then you come into this game and none of that's anywhere to be found. Like, how can you have a consistent prediction on this team moving forward? I'm basically sitting here and saying, I'll believe it when I see it.
I don't blame you one bit. And here's the thing too, right? Watching these Bills right now, what are they? 6-3 right now. And what's their record on the road?
2 of the 3 losses are on the road.
Good road team.
Their only home loss was to New England. The other 2 were on the road. And last year, all 3 of their losses were on the road. in the regular season.
Yeah, 2-2 on the road. 2-2 on the road.
Actually, all their losses last year were on the road. All of them.
Yeah, Yep, it's facts. Big facts. Valerie Blemure. Valerie says, Valerie's French, by the way. So the coach and GM going to get fired now? I mean, listen, if they continue to go in a downward spiral and we can't get ourselves out, and it doesn't help that it doesn't help that Bean had an opportunity to improve this team by giving away picks, and he said no. So he valued the picks over a game-changing X receiver. Coupled with Josh Allen would be huge. Or Brandon Bean did not bite. Man, that's something that he's gonna have to sit with. And if that gets him fired, which I highly doubt, but if it does, rightfully so. Bean needs to go. You haven't made a Super Bowl appearance in 8 years with Allen. Why you're that arrogant to not budge for Waddle is insanity. Pat's making this organization look real bad. Much love, boys. Richie, you ain't lying. There is a level of arrogance in that regards, and a level of you're overvaluing your hand. Like I was saying, you're overplaying your hand. And in this case, he did. And the Dolphins called this bluff. We're like, no, I'd rather hold on to this guy, and then we'll figure our lives out next year. It'll cost you more. I don't know, but it's not going to happen right now. I'd rather give him to somebody else. They had the opportunity. They effed it up. Damon Philpott says, yo, good games. I didn't see this happening at all. Buddy, neither did we. Neither did we, buddy. Neither did we. Golly. Donald Calmer, Diggs trade basically same as Waddle counter. Shaping my head. Yo, the more I think about it, the more like I'm like, golly, did you really not give that up? So tomorrow he's gonna get peppered. This news is gonna come out. And you got to answer to that. And I want to hear what this brother has to say. And maybe AI is going to come. He's going to take an AI answer. Be like, yo, I value the 26. You know what I mean? I don't want to give him two picks in the first. Yo, ain't nobody trying to hear that, bro. You trying to win right now? Well, you didn't show us that. All right. Led Robster goes, yo, Bot, all respect to your PSU Lions, but if Brady is your head coach, you better believe OSU will be there to recover the fumble on the inevitable end around. Love your brother. Oh, he's letting you have it, brother. He's letting you have it. Letting you have it. Yep. Cry. Take those. Cry it out. Any response to that? Any response to Led Robson?
Joe Brady's like the betting favorite to be Penn State's next head coach. So if he does end up moving on from Buffalo, then I'll get a good dose of him on Saturdays.
Yeah, you certainly will. You certainly will, brother. The Jonah comes in and says, Adam Schefter is reporting that Bean was also asking for TD Finns and TD Finstock and Kevin. That's too much talent to trade for individual rival. And that's something you got.
TD probably had a great day today, huh?
Oh, he felt good. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he felt good. Could you imagine if we lost a game like that and we had to be there to witness it?
Thank God they saved it for this weekend. Yep, you're right.
Buddy. When will the Bills put all the marbles in one basket? You have a generational quarterback. No reason why our ceiling is being good and not being great. FU being, man, Dio is not having it. Dio is not having it. Say we make the playoffs, but we're 10-7. I don't think 10-7 gets us into the playoffs, number one. That's just me. Say we're 10-7, but we're 10-7 and like the 6th or 7th seed. And then say we lose in the wild card or divisional. What should be done? What should be done is you really had to evaluate. Head coach, you got to evaluate. I said if we don't win the Super Bowl, I got to stick to it because that's what I said. If we don't win the Super Bowl this year, and at least be in the Super Bowl, Brandon Bean, McDermott's got to go. And I never coupled Brandon Bean with that, but this new information makes me say both of them are a package, and they both got to go, and we restart. And then, golly, then that's just a mess altogether. You just can't have it, man. 8 years and nothing. 8 years. Come on, man. There comes a time where you got to make a decision. You got to make a decision. Get right. Is it draft time? I can't describe the disgust I feel. Something is not right in-house. Diggs saw something us fans are blind to. Cancun on 3. I don't know if we're ready for Cancun just yet, but I don't blame your frustration. I really don't. And did Stephon Diggs see something? Or did he see writing on the wall? Who knows, man? I mean, the writing was on the wall when Joe Brady came in and took over. And he's like, yo, I went from being a very good receiver and an active one to now I'm just part of these wins. And I'm targeted here and there. What's going on? At first, it helped Josh because Josh didn't have to pinpoint and look for Diggs all day, or at least make the effort to look for Diggs. It just made him just go where he needed to. That was great last year because it won him the MVP. Now, this year, we're pretty much begging for him to find someone and stick to that person and do something. I don't know. By the way, did anybody
starving today.
What were you going to say?
Stomach rumbling. I was going to say, I can't go there with Diggs having this, crystal ball where he saw this coming. They went to the AFC Championship without him. It's just, man, on the wrong end of it this year. That's for sure. Meanwhile, of course, Diggs, look at that. Look how that works out. 8-2 on the Patriots.
8-2. Unbelievable. Man. This season's been pure chaos, a roller coaster. I'm ready to get off. Baltimore, Carolina, and KC look solid. Then Atlanta, NE, and Miami. It's like they've never played football before. Who are they? Bro, we're all asking, what the heck was this? You go from playing good ball to then this. Inconsistent. You got in football, you have to be consistent to be considered to be a serious threat. Like, come on, man. And you know this team. The problem is this team. You know what they do best, what they do best. But no, we drop the ball. But just a friendly jab. Love you.
Love you, Mitch. Oh, I know it. I know. Listen, the sky's falling right now.
No doubt about it. All right, last super chat of the night. We got Richie Fresh coming in and says, yo, strap in, Bills fans. Pagula owns the Sabres, and look at the clown show there. Bean and McDermott need to go, but be careful. Pretty much what he's saying is they ain't going nowhere. Get used to them. It's a wrap. My man, Mr. West says, yo, facts, Rico, Brady came in week 13. It's been no-show wide receiver ever since. Listen, that's what they wanted the difference to be. They wanted Josh. It wasn't working with what they were doing, so they said, let's change it up. And we started ripping off 30-point wins, right? And 30 points and putting up. He went toe-to-toe against the Eagles. We lost that game 37-34, something like that, off a field goal. But Allen was playing good ball. I mean, I'd almost want to go back to see what the plays were like. I'm not even going to bother doing that. But anyway, here we are. Anyway, closing remarks, my guy. What do you got?
Well, on the way out the door, I didn't mean to go full screen here. Rico's in here somewhere. Where is it? Well, on the way out the door, we have Sunday Night Football tonight. Should be interesting to watch what ends up happening in the playoff race between the Chargers and the Steelers. That's a pretty big game here on Sunday night. You can get in on the action with that game or the big Monday nighter tomorrow night, Packers, Eagles, using Sleeper. In the link in the description below. Click that, sign up for an account. When you do, you will immediately get a free $20 entry. Once you've used that entry, use the promo code BF25. That'll get you a 100% match up to $100 on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper terms of use for details. Currently available in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper in the link in the description below today. 2 good primetime games, Rico. Surely will be a better watch than what we were treated to Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern. What do you think about that?
Listen, man, I'm still stuck on this damn Bills loss. I'm thinking about all these other teams. Not even there. This was a shitty loss.
So bad.
So
bad.
Loss.
About as bad of a loss as it can get. And unfortunately, we're going to need to sit on this one, as will you. But we appreciate you hanging out with us after this game. Richie coming in saying, by the way, early congrats for a healthy baby bot. Yes, we're hoping the baby comes in healthy within the next 48 hours. Your man bot will be Papa Bot. That is around the corner. So that's getting me through this bad loss.
Listen, beyond that, but I want everybody in this chat right now to understand this is going to be a first-time Papa in bot. So there's a lot that's going to be coming his way. So if you don't see a lot of bot, know that he's handling, fatherhood to him. So your boy's going to be hanging it out. We're going to be doing our thing. Hopefully, I'll be trying to find some folks to come on the show with me and do what I got to do until Bot returns when he's ready to go. Because I know that this is crucial. The moment that you have that baby, that beautiful baby girl comes. I'm saying baby girl because I don't know if it's going to be a girl or a boy.
We'll find out soon.
Now, beautiful baby girl does come, and then you'll be right back to it. So I'll be holding it down, and you'll do what you got to do. But until then, you're going to be with us until that baby says, I'm ready to come out here.
Yeah, and I'll be with you when the baby comes. We're obviously going to need a little bit of a buffer here to get used to it. But you'll be seeing me, no question about it. And I appreciate all the well wishes in the chat, making me feel a lot better after a Sunday like that. So like I said, thank God the baby wasn't here already to see that. And hopefully once we bring Baby Bot into the world, we get some better Buffalo Bills play to treat the baby too. Because when I was brought into this world, I was treating nothing but 2 decades worth of mediocre to bad football play. hopefully my kid gets a little bit of a different turn than I had. But if it's anything like it was this Sunday, Rico, not good. But hey, thanks everybody for the well wishes here. I really appreciate it.
The losses don't sting as much when you have little babies, because you're like, you know what? Let me.
I need that.
Yeah, you're gonna need that. You're gonna be like, you know what? F these Bills. There was a moment where the Bills were just frustrating the heck out of me, and I was like, let me just hang with my kids right now. I'm cool. So
I might have Caroline go get induced right now so I can get that feeling, because I'm in. This was a bad one today.
Go induce her yourself. You know what to do. All right, folks. That is it for us. We are out of here. Listen, not a great game for the Bills. I'm sure they know it. That plane ride back to Buffalo is going to be a brutal one. They went from South Beach to now they're going back to the cold in Buffalo. That's a terrible way to come back after a loss in Miami. Now you come back to the cold reality. That's what it comes down to. Cold reality. Now, I know we didn't really talk about the bright spots in this game, but we'll have all week to do that. We'll talk about, some good things, but until then, try to enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll catch this Sunday night game, and we'll go from there. But any last words, brother?
Yeah, once again, thanks to everybody for the love and the well wishes. I'll pass them along to Caroline. The baby should be here within the next 48 hours. I'll keep you apprised. You'll be seeing Baby Bot. Very excited to introduce him or her to you guys when the timing is right. So thanks for all the well wishes. Sucks. This game sucked. Try to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Going to be tough after that one. On to Tampa Bay, and hopefully the Bills can turn it around. But thank you. We had over 4,000 of you concurrent with us throughout the episode here. So we hope you feel a little bit better getting it off your chest like we did, and we'll talk to you throughout the week. Much love, as always, and go Bills.
Team Girl.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a podcast host, listen up. This one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle. And I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.